Hello and welcome to Roleplay Rejects, where we play new and unusual tabletop role-playing games. In Side Quest, we're taking a break from our longer stories to play just a few sessions of some very unique role-playing games out there. So sit back and enjoy.
Welcome to Wine About It. I have eyes, actually. I could just look. I realized.
Yep. Because you have eyeballs now.
I have eyeballs now, listeners. I've been recording without eyeballs up until recently.
I'm at season 4 of AP Bio now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I
in
forgot how
college?
funny it is.
I am like halfway through season 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
not dedicated.
No, not at all.
Well, because I'm still doing the thing where I just have it play on the side as I'm playing.
Dude,
Factorial.
that is cheating.
That's not cheating.
That is
It
cheating.
lets me get through stuff.
If you're watching something, you have to have your full undivided attention.
That's
or you're not even
wild.
watching.
I don't know. Disagree on that. What's your opinion on that? Do you have to pay full attention in order to quote unquote watch?
Do you know how
something?
many times?
I'm one of the people that that is 100% all in all the time to everything I'm doing, right?
Anyway, like
Not
you
all
for
the
a
time.
reason.
Yeah,
Oh.
most of the time. But no, I find it hard. You know, some of us in our family like to focus and watch the TV and find all those little. Oh, did you see that little?
Exactly.
The pocket square. The pocket square was shifted.
Mhm.
That means this in this show. You know, and something you might miss that if you're playing Bejeweled on the side with your
Yeah.
phone, or,
Bejeweled.
just, does that show my age? Does that age me right there? Is it?
No, when I'm watching like sitcoms, I'm okay with doing other stuff on the side.
Yeah.
If I'm
That's
watching
fair.
a
That's
horror
fair.
movie, I have to be 100% in.
Yeah, I guess
That's a fair
For me,
point.
it depends on how
Yeah.
invested I am in that thing.
Yeah.
Like if I'm watching One Piece, I'm not.
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. No, I mean that's fair. One
Yeah.
Piece does require, but yeah, like it depends on the type of thing it is and how
Yeah.
invested I am into it.
Because like with
I'll-
the Marvel movies, I started super invested, but then that has just degraded
maybe
until
that-
like
Ooh.
now I'm on my
Maybe
phone.
now I can catch up on
The
all
Marvel
of the
movies.
myriad of Marvel movies.
It's
that
fun to
I've missed.
binge. We binged it.
Yeah.
You know, now you have the opportunity thanks Disney Plus.
Dude,
right?
that's what I'll do when we have our day where I watch the Lord of the Rings series. I'll just also be playing.
Okay, well, no.
Well, yeah, now it's different, huh?
No.
That's crazy.
side by side.
I'll also be playing Bejeweled.
But like, I've been doing that with like Sweet Tooth just to like get caught up.
Oh, sure.
I never
Netflix.
watched that one.
It's
neither.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I had seen the first season before, but it had been so long, so I started it back from season 1 and then just kept with it of like half listening to it.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just shows that I don't feel like deserve my full attention. If I'm being honest.
Sometimes you see a little comedy in the background,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
you know, that's always fun. Just
And
lighten
it's-
things up.
It's a lot better than just having like trash YouTube play.
That's my
constantly.
go-to.
I don't know, I love some
I
trash
love trash
YouTube.
YouTube.
It's
But
got-
you
it
can't
has a
you
time
can't
and
like
place.
multitask with YouTube on your phone and watch something because it's all on your phone. You gotta,
Exactly.
like that's tough. It's tough.
So you split your monitor, and
Well, that's
half of
fair.
it is
That's
trash
fair.
YouTube, and then
Yeah.
the other half is whatever you're
And that's
actually doing.
exactly what I do. I have Factorio up on my left monitor, and then on my right monitor, I have it split. So I have Discord up so
Oh,
that
yeah.
then I can watch and see all of the 0 messages I get. And then I can have YouTube up on the other half, playing, I don't know, like Gray Still Plays or.
What we
Real
still get,
Civil-
we
Civil
get
Engineering.
plenty of messages on the Discord. The
We
the
do.
roleplay
That's good.
reject
We do.
Discord
Oh.
is popping.
We
Oh, that's
do?
cool.
But
my
direct
but my
messages-
DMs are barren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah.
how it
Also,
goes.
when I have that up, it's like 10 at night, and I would hope that people are having like healthy sleep habits.
Oh, I am dead asleep.
Yeah.
By the time
Why-
you
why-
start playing.
Why do you have it up? Like, can't you just look at the little notification on the taskbar?
Oh, I hate that shit.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like I never have Discord up unless I'm actively. Well, that's not
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
If I'm. No, I
You're
usually don't
perusing.
have
You
it
gotta
up.
peruse.
Yeah, every now and
checking
again
the
I
channels,
scroll
you
through
know.
the servers I'm in, but like generally speaking, if I'm doing other stuff, I just listen for the boom, and then
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, someone-
exactly.
Yeah, unless I'm in like a party and we are like actively doing something.
Mhm.
Like if we were doing
Like
EVE
when we're mining.
online,
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
and we're mining or something, like I've got that up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what else you can do when you multitask? you can listen to podcasts,
Oh,
right?
true.
Yeah,
You
true.
could listen to a podcast such as Roleplay Rejects would be a good
Yeah.
choice.
Or
There's
Zephyr
another
Game
one, yeah.
Studios.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
at
that
GGS
too.
podcast. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
I've heard that's a decent one. It's doing okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't release very often, but we're
Yeah,
probably the
don't-
opposite release schedule of the Roleplay Rejects, like once every few months
It happens.
versus weekly. You guys are
Yeah.
doing phenomenally.
Yeah. We try to keep on top of it.
Yeah. There.
Life is hard.
Yeah,
Life is
it
tough,
is hard.
But it's a great thing to do. And you know what? What's a cool, a good theme for a podcast might be, a ship lurching in this sort of a mastless Amazon metallic hull-crafted ship, hurtling you toward your doom. I mean, toward the goal of retrieving a staff somewhere in this ancient Hyperborean diamond mine at the rim of the world and near Thermagorgas, the demon lord's teeth, as the floating island descends from view behind you, and the red bloated sun is, it's decently in the sky now. As the temperature warms, it feels like, is it like 75 degrees as we approach this area?
That's hot.
Ugh. Hyperborea, mainland as you all are from, 20s, 30s this time of year. This is, maybe you've never felt this heat. Sort of jarring.
Yeah.
But as we approach the island, the Amazons would love to toast you on your way. We had a little lemon left, it seems, from our salmon feast last night. We'd love to. We've made a little drink for all of you, and we'd love to give you one last toast. We didn't really do this with the other crew. I must say, you're all much more interesting than the last batch that came this way before. But we have a little toast us Amazons always say as we get ready for adventure and go on quests. It's something to the effect of, we raise a glass, as all of you do before, to those that... Oh,
I'm sorry.
looking for a glass!
He's not
Yeah.
prepared. He doesn't respect the traditions.
Zodus looks around anxiously and is... didn't bring a glass.
Scrambles for his
glass.
water skin.
I grab some seawater. It sounds like this.
Ooh, that's some good
sea
seawater.
quench ale, perhaps.
Sequence.
But yes, well, after a good meal, good for you. Sorry, I had a little seaweed in my mouth from earlier. I must say, we do wish you all well. I'm sure you will survive this potentially perilous adventure into the mines of Thermagorgas' teeth. Again, you have one day to complete your quest, or I must admit, we'll be going back on our way. So, to those that came before and those that are to come, we wish you well with a little fire,
Blood.
Steel.
the stuff of heroes.
Stuff of
heroes. Damn, we fucked it up this time. We were better the first time.
I must say, you
Just
actually
'cause I
kind of
was trying to
nailed it.
get in there.
You actually kind of nailed it the first time. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, it's pretty good art.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, any last questions before you, Bridget, get the rowboat. Bridget sort of like somehow you didn't even see this before since you've been on the boat. A little like a latch thing kind of folds, a little panel folds in on the side of the railing. She turns a little wheel that appears, and a little slot like opens in the front of the boat, and a little rowboat just sort of like kind of slides out of the hull of the ship, somewhere from even maybe below the deck you were on. And she grabs 2 oars off the side and she jumps in and just kind of lands, balances. And Bridget, are you ready to take them? Let's be on your way. Sorry. Any last questions before you head over there? We'll be here waiting for you. It's sure to be fine. You can just wave when you get off, or
Right,
get our attention somehow.
We will see you in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take the ladder this time.
Okay.
I too am gonna take that.
How do you jump? What do you
Oh no!
Okay.
It goes without saying. I'm taking the
We
ladder.
flip rolls.
think? All right, you guys easily they actually throw over a little rope ladder. Kind of lands in the rowboat. You guys are able to come down, no problem. And Bridget just she she sort of steadies the ship as each of you get onto it, this little rowboat, and it's almost just like you're walking on land, like nothing. You barely even sense any water motion as you get in this rowboat. She starts rowing you to shore, to the as you get closer to the teeth. Again, these cliffs, these like mountainous things rise up above you in the distance. And you start to see a little pier, kind of the pier appears. appears in the distance, and she gets closer. And yes, I'm sorry, Helene can't get closer to the rocks. It's a little rough and a little jagged under there. I hear. We had to stop and take the rowboat from here to the pier, but I'm sure you'll. I don't know. Best of luck again, Core. Hope there's any feeling better.
Oh yeah, I feel good as new.
It looks quite fresh.
Yeah.
Good luck on your journey. I really hope you make it back safely.
Oh, I definitely will.
Excellent. Well, here we are. She's you kind of have to. She'll kind of help you get to this pier. You can put your characters kind of at the far end there as you approach. She says, "Yes, do beware of the water. I do hear it's sort of jagged under there. You might be just be careful." Anything else? She sort of helps you up. The pier's like a little bit out of the water. You kind of have to like crawl. You can't really jump. I mean, if you can kind of crawl up there a little bit. There's no real ladder at this point.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing a video game and you're like in the water, but you're trying to like
Hop
jump,
up.
but you can't jump, so you have to like.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
You gotta shuffle.
Yeah.
You see, you're now standing on a pier. Bridget looks up and she says, "Anything else? I'm heading back."
No, we'll see you in a day or less.
Excellent. Good luck. And she sort of just starts paddling the rowboat back towards the dreamscape, and you're now on a pier. And you see before you a larger pier network. At first glance, seems old, worn, but very much intact. Maybe there's like a tar kind of coating on it. Maybe in years past helped preserve it a little bit. Maybe just the salt continually buffeting this thing preserved it. And you see before you, like ahead of you at this pier, kind of splits, and there's two plank sections that kind of go into what look like they look like little cave openings, but they kind of go into the mountain and disappear from your view. That's out before you.
Well, left or right?
Can I do some sort of check to look for like footprints or something like that?
Sure.
Some sort of sign of which way the last team went.
Good question. Okay, so certain classes, like actually Barbarian, I think, has some tracking ability.
I think
Okay.
There's a thing called a Scout that has some tracking.
Oh, yeah, I looked at the Scout.
Okay.
I almost picked a Scout.
There's other classes, the sort of druid type thing. So different classes approach that a little differently.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have track.
Oh, okay.
It says
Ooh.
10 and 12 wilderness, 3 and 12 non-wilderness. I don't know what
okay.
that means.
Sure. So similar to rolling low
Oh, I'm
mechanics.
rolling a d12.
It's
instead.
D12 this time
Okay.
for those particular skills, and you're trying to roll equal to or under those numbers. But also, Hecate, I think you rolled an interesting secondary
yeah.
skill also, right?
My secondary skill is as a hunter or trapper, so I might be able to
okay.
assist with that.
So Zotis, what are your like secondary skills, thief skills?
So I have a detect secret doors that could
Yeah,
be
cool.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
Not a whole lot. Tracking people, mostly like manipulating traps, opening locks.
Exactly. Yeah.
that
So
sort of thing.
you've been in the streets of Cromarium,
Okay.
growing up. Maybe you haven't seen as many wilderness things,
That's
but
fair. Yeah.
but I would still give you, in this case, since you don't have like a dedicated skill for that thing, obviously, so you're like looking at the ground for tracks
Yeah.
or some sign of someone else that's
Yeah,
been
torn
here.
cloth. Or
So I'll give you a
something.
D6, just one of these D6 test resolutions. So just rolling low. See if you roll some. What do you roll?
No, I roll a 6.
Okay, so yeah, you're looking around. You just see this, like I described before, this worn pier, splash water. You look down and a little salt water splashes in your eye. Just the waves are a little rough in this area. You can see why Helene wouldn't want to bring Dreamscape this close to the dock.
Yeah.
But the other two, Hecate, how are you kind of approaching this situation?
Well, if you can't see anything, then I suppose I will have to. And I'll start kind of like walking along. Come along, Gerald. And as I'm walking
Mhm.
along, I'm just kind of like hands behind my back, just kind of like looking about.
Very supervisor-like, yeah.
I kind of like snap my fingers and point to like certain spots, and Gerald will like pick something up for me and like bring it up
Okay.
to my eye,
Okay.
and then I'll wave it away.
Okay. All right. So yeah, roll. I'll give you a D6 for this also. That's cool. I'll say 2 or under. Maybe you find something.
A one.
Oh, okay. You actually see a little. Gerald goes. You're like, what is that little thing flapping like stuck to the dock? you see like Gerald come. He brings back. He sort of picks up, examines something. It looks like a little piece of black cloth that's kind of ripped. Maybe it got caught on the edge of the pier, and when someone was walking, perhaps.
Sodus, Core, I found something.
Wow, black cloth. Very useful.
Oh, shush. At least it indicates that they did in fact land at this pier, assumingly. I presume.
It's nice cloth.
Does that like help indicate a potential path?
It's like right at the corner, right? Like when you stopped right where you are on the map.
Oh, like
You kind of hit this. The main pier is sort of parallel to the mountain. There's a little pier that runs perpendicular directly toward it, and that gets you to a large central platform for the listeners. The platform then splits into two paths, sort of south and to the west. So you're approaching south, like you're heading south toward the mountain, because as you know, Hyperborea, the center of the world, is north. So you're heading due away from the center of the world toward the rim. One of these, as you get to this large central platform of a dock pier area, there's a path that goes due south, and there's another path that kind of goes west for a little bit, and then south again into the mountainside. But right where you're at, like right before the platform, where the kind of terrain opens up a little bit, it seems, just logically, maybe a cloak got snagged at this little intersection. So you find the cloth like right in the corner crevice as you're walking up. And Core, why don't you give me a D20 since you're tracking as well? How are you sort of approaching the situation as well as you're
Honestly,
coming up here?
I think Core would see like you trying to look around and then you trying to look around, and then I think he would be like, I don't understand why it matters. Like, let's just go and get the staff and leave. If we're having trouble deciding, let's just go left. Because it feels right.
Good enough for me.
take the lead. Remember, not a scratch.
Yeah. and then I think I'll just lead the party in the left.
Okay. I suggest you kind of get to that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
due south. Cool. So you kind of get to that point. Actually, I'm going to let you roll your tracking ability anyway.
Okay.
So this is a little weird. It's just to remind the listeners, remind me of your tracking skills and how that's set up.
Oh, so I also have Hunter as a secondary skill.
Cool. Oh, awesome.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yep.
And then, so I have the track ability, and I'm trying to get 10 and 12, and if I'm in wilderness, and 3 and 12 is if it's non-wilderness. And I know
Okay.
we're like at the edge of
So
like
this
a
is kind of this is like in between,
Yeah.
actually. It's not like in the woods, but it's not in a city.
Yeah.
So you're a little in between. I'm going to give you a 6 out of 12
6 and
to
12.
like find some information. So 6 or under. Let me know what you get.
I got a 12.
Got a 12. Okay. Cora, as you're kind of just, whatever. Come on, let's go. You're walking up. You sort of step in something like squishy. You go, oh, what the? You just like weren't even paying attention. You're like, whatever. You failed miserably there. You step and you're like, it smells like some kind of guano, some big like pile of droppings. You almost missed it. You kind of missed it. You think there's tar. There's obviously some preservatives around here. And as you bend down and go, you then all of you at the same time hear this sort of screech. And you all look up and you see these two creatures with these large membranous wings kind of start to like almost like block the sun for a second and start to descend upon you. In this case, I'm going to ask you, so normally there's a surprise mechanic. Some classes, I'll just double check, confirm, would reduce your surprise percentage.
Okay.
If it mentions anything on your character sheets.
Yeah, alertness, -1 to be surprised.
Okay. So a surprise roll, what'll happen is one person in the party. A lot of times if it's like someone with alertness or a thief skill that sort of gives you that ambush a benefit,
It'll be them
you
typically.
can roll them. Yeah. So typically what happens is on a D6 roll, on a 1 normally on a 1 or a 2, your party is surprised. So in this case, since you're alert, normally it would be a 1. But I'm going to say since you failed that roll so bad and just whiffed on your hunting tracking, you're distracted by this guano for a second as you look down. So I'm going to give it back to a 2.
Okay, so I want to be 3 or above.
No, it's actually lower. Oh, sorry. Yes. In this case, a 1 or a 2 means you are surprised. So in this case, if you're rolling higher, you're not surprised.
Okay. I got 4.
Okay. So you're able to look up enough and go, "Oh, there!" and alert the party as you see. Actually, everybody, I'm going to roll a D6 real quick for sort of like an intelligence sort of check.
2.
2? Okay.
2.
Okay.
Look at us.
Trip 2s. All right.
Let's go.
So all of you have heard of these sort of creatures before, but you see these two massive pterodactyls fly down from above and descend upon you. But since you did not roll a 1 or 2, you're not surprised. So in a second, we're going to roll, we're going to go into combat until we'll talk about how that works. But I'm just going to grab a couple pterodactyls real quick out of my bag and bring
All
this on.
right.
Yeah.
That brings us to today's sponsor. The P is silent. Are you tired of making noise when you go to the bathroom? That's all I got. I can't keep.
That was good. That was good.
Okay.
That
that
was
what
pretty
we're
good.
gonna
I was
do?
laughing. That's good here. So these two pterodactyls descend on your party from some distance in the air. It's hard to tell at the moment.
I love dinosaurs.
Oh, they're
Dude.
big.
Oh, these are
Dude.
great.
are that big.
Oh, these things
Wow.
are.
Like off to the like about that.
Did you paint these? are really
Those
cool.
pterodactyls were like a super random kid's dinosaur miniature, but I did
Nice.
mount them on the base, paint the bases, make those for this
Okay.
Yeah,
sort of
the bases are
volcanic
really
themed
awesome.
adventure.
That is fun.
So how combat? So we're now in combat.
Mhm.
Cue music change. So in Hyperborea, the way the combat works is we're going to go around the table and you declare your action. Typical actions include things like melee attack if you happen to be in melee, missiles if you have some sort of ranged attack, bows, arrows, crossbows, things like that. Magic if you're just ready to go cast a spell, and then movement is the end thing if you want to do that particular sort of action. If charge would like happen on a move, sort of the kind of that quote section of the combat options. And then after you declare, then we both roll initiative. I sort of secretly declare what the enemies are doing. And then it's just a party. One person rolls a d6. We just go, kind of alternate different combats. You go around the table. The winner of the initiative goes first, and you do all your actions. You can delay, you can delay actions, stuff like that if you want to. But then your whole party goes, and then the whole evil goes. But then you declare again, and then you roll initiative again. So you're actually it changes and kind of floats and morphs as the combat progresses. You don't just have the same initiative value every time, and you can switch up who. If the party wins, you can go in any order you want to. Like if all of you are in melee, you have that flexibility.
Cool.
So in this case, you're not surprised, so they don't get a free dive attack or something. Who knows? I'm going to say they are at this point about 40 feet above you, descending quickly.
Okay.
You just see them diving towards your party at about that distance away from you in a sort of horizontal direction. So, Zodis, what is going to be your declared action for this encounter?
I'm going to pull the crossbow off my back and cock it.
Nice. What kind of crossbow is that, by the way?
It is a repeating crossbow.
Ooh, that's special Atlantean technology. Pretty
Yeah.
rare.
It
Nice.
jams on a 1 to 3.
Yeah. On a d20 roll.
On a d20 roll. So, yeah, I'm excited for this.
Okay, so your intent is to shoot one of these pterodactyls.
Yes. I think the one that's a little farther away from our party.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and Core, what's it going to be?
I have a short spear and I want to throw it at
Nice.
that one.
Okay, so
other
you're
one.
sure you're going to be doing like a missile,
Yeah, a missile, yeah.
attack. Awesome. Okay. Pekka.
So I think I will drop a large piece of cloth down for my hand and start winding it up. Get ready for a sling
Okay.
towards the one that you're throwing the spear at. And under my breath in kind of like a much more commanding way, a lot more than just the playful way that I have been. I'll just look over to George and just say, "Defend,
Gerald?
Gerald."
Oh boy.
Yeah.
George? Scandal!
No.
This little head cock and skeleton. Huh?
Trust me, nothing's going on between me and George. But I'll just defend, and George will hold up his shield in defense.
Okay, sounds good. So they're 40 feet in the air. So the enemies do something.
Can I do it first?
Yeah.
The initiative?
Okay,
Is
sure.
that okay with you guys?
Yeah,
It's
go
got
for it.
Okay.
You got
cool.
dibs. All right, so the higher number goes first.
Okay.
If we tie, then we actually go by dexterity order, which is why I asked you that originally at the last game. Which a quick reminder for everyone: Zodis has a 17 dexterity, Hecata an 8, Korea, Gentleman's 15. Pretty solid dexterity stat. And this enemy has something, which you may find out later. So we will roll opposing initiative rolls on a d6.
I got 3.
Referee rolls a 4.
Dang. Evil goes first.
These pterodactyls descend, one from the west, one from the east, as they come down, coming towards your party. The one from the east, which is that one. Yep, closest to core, goes. So it would come down 40 feet, and it still fly. It kind of just and hugs the ground really quickly, and just comes right in towards you. These things seem very quick in the air, but it lands on the dock and goes to bite you. So this thing has this. Monsters have a certain hit dice. There's in Hyperborea, there's a matrix chart. Again, we have descending armor class. But I'm going to roll a certain d20 to roll, add this hit dice value. Let's see. So, Core, what's your armor class right
It's
now?
currently 1.
Ooh, that is really good, low armor class.
Yeah, I hooked it up.
This thing goes, just completely whiffs you. Like, it like lands, and it bites you like 4 feet away from you. And just, you see the teeth chomp down. But that seems like it's it. Now it's just sitting there on the dock in front of you. The other one from the west descends, flies down, and heads towards. Let's see. 1, 2, it's going to head toward Hecata. 3, 4, Zodis. 5, 6, Core. It gangs up on Core, and just the leader of the pack stuck in its guano trap that perhaps they laid earlier. Perhaps not. But it goes in for a bite as well. And. Oh my gosh, I've been playing too many. Yes, you are flanked in this particular scenario. So your armor class is you have a sort of a 1 reduction when you're flanked like this.
So it's 2 now, effectively?
Yep, so
Okay.
still 2. Still amazing, but we'll see what happens here. Close. It gnashes on you, but just can't. It just like it kind of bites your shoulder, but it like skims off the side from the back. You like you kind of turn about, and this bite, you feel the skull just like crash on your shoulder, but just can't quite make purchase. It was a close hit. But now it is the party's turn. So you still you can kind of do range, but then they would get like a sort of free attack kind of thing if you're in melee, or you could like drop it and swap. It's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because I know we declare prior to the turn.
Yep.
But in situations like this where the map might change my intent, what happens then?
Yep. So again, you still have the flexibility to. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. I'm going to revert here because you have the spear. Because you have the spear, specifically the spear.
Yeah, short spear. I was going to throw it.
Yeah. So the short spear. This game has an interesting like weapon class stat on their weapons. So a short spear has a weapon class of. Short spear is 3. So if a melee counts as a weapon class of like 0, if you're hand-to-hand combat, if the weapon class is 2 or more, there's this optional like first strike rule. Because if someone's running you and you have a spear set for charge, you want to be able to use that. So in this case, what I should have done with the first one, I forgot because you had a spear and the weapon class was large enough, like a pike or some of these longer weapons. Again, if it exceeds it by 2, in this case it does, you actually get to attack first.
Oh.
So if you'd like to, you could normally it's a melee situation. So I'll just let you hang on to the spear and you can melee attack it as it comes down upon you, if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. That would take my action on my turn?
Yes.
What is it? Okay, yeah, I'll still do that because it sounds cool. But in this case, it's melee, you said?
Yep. So melee attack is going to be D20. Now this one you're trying to roll high.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your character sheet should have like some pluses to hit next to the short spear in melee.
Is that the attack modifier?
Yes.
Yeah, it's +3.
Okay. So you're just going to roll D20, add that +3.
I got 8 total.
8 total. So your combat matrix at the bottom, what does that 8 equate to on armor class for your character?
Okay. 8.
Armor
So
class 8?
Yeah. That
Okay.
probably doesn't hit.
Well, again, it was coming down. You got startled. He was further away than he thought when he bit down on you, and he was just a little too. You're like, oh,
I was anticipating him.
yeah, he would have been closer.
Yeah.
But like, it just you both kind of
We
like
both hit the.
little awkward. Oh, you
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, my bad.
So 8 does not seem to hit his armor class
Okay.
at this point.
That's cool now. I like that. Now this matrix makes total sense.
Sounds good. Cool. If you're using some of the VTT options for Hyperborea, a lot of the programming and stuff just kind of tells you what AC you hit with your hit roll. It factors in your strength adjustment and your, if you're special. In this case, you actually have weapon specialization. As a fighter-based class, you get an additional +1 to hit, +1 damage. That's all factored in the character sheet and manual. But the a lot of the online stuff, whether it's Roll20 or Foundry, there's a lot of stuff where Hyperborea is moving into Foundry right now, which is pretty cool, pretty heavy. So that kind of factors in. It tells you what armor class you hit, even if you miss or hit, which is kind of nice. You kind of figure that out as you're going down to descending.
Yeah.
So hits, you actually do that first, retcon, do that, and then he dives in, this pterodactyl dashes you on the back. But now it's the other party members, and now you have the option to do it any order you want. Core, that would have happened melee first anyway.
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to do melee, or you have the missiles. You can jump to missiles if you want to stay ranged.
Yes, I think I do.
Okay.
Can I move first and then shoot to like?
Good
get
question.
out
So
from right
what
under
you would
them?
sort of do would be like delay your action.
Okay.
However, there's this really interesting section about advanced combat maneuvers.
Okay.
Only fighter sort of classes can move and fire in the same
Oh,
okay. thing. So that's one of the benefits of like a fighter class,
Okay.
to do some of these advanced things like moving and firing. Or you could move out of the way. Since you were firing, you could do it right from where you are.
Okay.
Or you could like move at the end of the turn and get out of the kind of the rain, the melee scuffle.
I'm still gonna do it from where I am.
I do have a question about that. So, like, as far as action economy goes, on our return we have one action, and then that's
Basically,
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and movement does take one action.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
And they happen in
Interesting.
phases, right? So everyone doing melee would go first, and then
Correct.
everyone throwing missiles, and then everyone moving.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm sorry. To correct that, there is you could like charge and maybe move and attack in the same thing at the end
But
of the
that would
thing.
have to be a melee attack?
It would be since charging you'd have to move to charge. That would happen like during the end move phase of the thing.
But the attack with the charge, does that have to be melee?
There is an advanced combat maneuver called like hurl and charge, where if you had like a couple hand axes, you could throw one as you're running into the battle, and so you could throw and it'd be like a ranged attack while you're charging, and then hit somebody with attack also. So some of the fighter based classes and other
Fighter
classes
sounds
can
really
do some of
Cool.
those things.
Yeah. I really like that.
Okay.
Okay. I am just going to aim and get some shots off.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. So it has an attack rate of 3.
Yeah.
3 over 1.
Which
So
is crazy. You're gonna get 3 shots right now.
3 shots off.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now that one other. Now again, this is only happening because they got the jump on you in initiative.
Yes.
These pterodactyls flew down. You were distracted by the guano. They're now swirling in melee with your friend Core. There is a penalty to actually shooting now into melee to maybe not hit your friend.
Okay.
So you're gonna have a -1 to hit
Okay.
for firing into someone that's engaged in melee.
Okay.
And if you roll a natural 1, 2, or 3, you have a chance of hitting your friend.
Okay, just don't roll that.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in your case, I guess that's also a bad because it would jam your weapon, which is
Yes.
kind of funny. So maybe that's kind of weird because it might jam before it. I don't know about that. We'll have to think about that.
It only
Okay.
jams on a 1, though, right?
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2,
Oh, wow.
and 3. So that's like a quirky. I didn't
Exact
think about
same.
that till.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Overlap here.
Okay. And
I'm sorry.
to-
-2 to hit. I'm sorry. I was in my head. It said -1.
Oh. It's
-2 to hit in melee.
Okay. My attack modifier is 2, so it,
Oh, that sort of cancels. Yep. So it'll
Cancels
just be
Whatever you roll.
on the dice.
and I roll this 3 times, or does the one roll count for all 3 shots?
You roll 3 different attacks.
3 different
Yep.
attacks. Okay. First one is a natural 20.
Oh, that's funny.
Second one is an 11.
Okay. What AC
Um,
does that hit?
It hits a 6 AC,
Okay.
and then an 8, which is a 9 AC.
Okay. So the last one, you're kind of the last one, you're kind of maybe coming up, and the last one goes high. The middle one hits pretty solidly.
Nice.
AC 6. It kind of
Okay.
hits a wing. How much damage? I'm gonna do the crit last because I think that's fun.
Okay, sounds good. 1d6 damage.
Okay.
1 point of damage for the first one.
Okay. Sorry, West.
And then how do crits work?
All right, great question. So this game has an interesting mechanic. On our show, we say, "How crit is it?" if you roll a crit, there's a cool little critical hit table, and you roll a d6 to see how critical it is.
Okay.
And it varies depending on what class type you are. So it's like there's a fighter's column, there's a cleric and thief and monster column, and then there's like a magician sort of class column. So in this
Okay.
case, the thief is in the middle column, and it's a d6 roll. Higher's better.
Okay. A 6.
A 6.
He blows up.
So that's actually times 3 damage
Dang.
for this crit.
Okay.
So you in Hyperborea, you roll that's how many dice. So you just roll that many dice.
Okay.
So you're gonna roll 3d6 and add them up.
Okay, that is 14 points of damage.
Holy crap! That
Nice.
is really good. All right, you got this thing
13. I lied.
13.
I can't do
hate
math
liars.
today.
He looks
Oh,
healthy.
Man.
It's 13.
He's
It
totally
looks like
fine.
You actually
Is-
healed him.
No, so times 3 damage. You can describe it. You feel like he is on the brink of death. You can describe all those arrow shots from your
Okay.
repeating crossbow.
So the first one makes it into his shoulder, slows him down a little bit, but not much. But the second one goes into the eye, and it deals enough damage to like shake him.
Oh,
You can tell that it's somewhere in the brain, just not a critical part.
it just erupts in this screech. It just tries to shake this arrow out of its head as it squeals in pain.
Really quick, can you talk about attack rate and what exactly that means?
Sure. So if you have like a like that, we just sort of hit the
I had a
3 over
three.
1 means 3 attacks per round.
Okay.
If you have something like 3 over 2, that means as your weapon, typically this melee weapons
Yeah.
or some range, but like
Yeah.
melee weapon, the first round you attack with that weapon, it's one attack. The next round, as you're getting better and kind of in the groove, you get 2 attacks.
Okay.
The next round would be 1 attack. If
Okay.
you ever like stop, like say you do a melee attack, then switch to a ranged weapon,
Then go back.
and then
to
come
the-
back, you start again at that 1.
Okay,
because
that's cool.
it's sort of getting in the groove. This is one of
Yeah.
those, again, these old school rules mechanics that kind
Yeah,
of
I like
survive
that.
the test of time. A little variability. Later, as you get more advanced in the classes, you might have 2 attacks always, or 5 over 2, and then it's like 2, 3, 2, 3.
Hmm.
There's a couple different things that
That's
progress in the fighter-based classes in the
Cool,
game
cool.
system.
I really like that.
Fighters feel really cool in this game.
Yeah,
They feel sick.
a lot of games like
They just feel
fighters.
like normal. Like
Yeah.
they feel sick in this game.
All right. So I believe so that was Zodus, and then there'd be sort of also missiles. So you had a sling.
Yeah,
You have that same -2 to hit.
Yeah, so I'm going to be trying to.
East
Can
or
I,
west?
can I switch targets?
Oh, so yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay. 'Cause I-
In
it's sort of
rules,
it's sort of rules is written sort of loose on that. It's just like if
Okay.
you're doing a ranged attack, it's sort of like you're not really supposed to switch to a spell. Like you can't then
Gotcha.
swap and do a spell instead because
Oh,
you weren't
okay.
like preparing it.
Mm.
Because there is some cool rules for if caster is like you're prepping a spell, you're supposed to sort of in your head like declare, oh yeah, I was going to cast Shocking Grasp.
Mhm.
If you lose initiative like this and take damage in the middle of your like spell casting, you actually have a chance of like losing the spell basically.
Okay.
And then there's a concentration check mechanic that rolls based on your intelligence stat minus the damage you took, trying to get under your intelligence score to see if you can, struggle through, remember the words, and get the spell out.
Hmm.
So it's sort of a quirky way to, see what happens. But in this case, yeah, you got sling at the ready.
Yeah, I think
East or
I'll
west?
try and hit the one on the west that has been severely damaged.
Yep.
So with my sling, its attack rate is 1 out of 1.
Yep.
So 1
So yeah, just
per
one
turn.
around. It's pretty straightforward. Yep.
And
-2 to hit because he's in melee with core.
plus
Mm.
my -1 attack modifier. So -3.
-1 dex. Okay.
Sick.
What you got? What'd you get?
A natural 1.
Natural
Yeah,
one.
-2, baby.
All right. So we are exploring all the rules in this game, which is great.
Hell yeah.
So in Hyperborea, one of the main like god of the world is this toad god Zathaqua, which is sort of embodied by this eye, the sort of all-seeing eye that you see in some of the symbology. So it started as a little pamphlet, but now it's embedded into 3rd edition. There is a Zathaqua's Woe critical miss table that you can roll on that I love to do because it's kind of fun.
All right.
This is going to be a D12 roll. I just blanked on. We play a lot of VTTs right now. I have these all pulled up on tables. Let me. I think it's in the player's manual actually.
Listeners, we have so many manuals.
So many player's manuals running around here. Leatherette. This is in the combat section. Damage and death. They put it into the later 280 on the players. There's different types of damage like madness. Okay, so Zathaqua's Woes on table 145. Again, depending on your class, you sometimes have if you whiff really badly, you might whiff even badlier, is that a word? Than your fighter classes. So as a magician, this is a D12. In this case, rolling low is better for you. Rolling
Okay.
higher is better for me.
Okay.
So it's D12, and some different things happen. So why don't you roll a D12 and
right.
tell me how
Give me
bad
that.
Just get a 1
12.
again.
Zathaqua.
7.
7. So you sort of swing around, and you actually trip and fall down in your current position, and you effectively go prone.
Oof.
Which, if someone was going to be melee attacking you, you would have like a -4 armor class equivalent. And you have no dexterity bonus if you had one for the remainder of the round.
Nope.
And if you had like multiple attacks, you would like lose your other attacks for the round if you were like a fighter character or something. So you can explain that one, Hecate.
Yeah, I think I'm like going to and swinging, and as Gerald is moving up with the big shield, he doesn't have very good spatial awareness, and kind of like hits like my shoulder, like the back of my leg, kind of weirdly, and then I fall. The sling bullet just goes
way
wide.
up. Yeah, just whoosh, you hear a little splash in the distance, and you're prone.
God
All right.
damn it, Gerald!
He just kind of looks down at you, and his jaw just drops like.
Do I need to declare like his actions or?
Good point. You know,
Well, he's defending,
he's
right?
defending. You said he's
defending,
defending you.
yeah.
So yeah, so he would have been. He's basically another combatant that could have been hit. Which, of course, now that I think about it, I rolled a D6 instead of a D4. So I'm going to switch that up next time. I was rolling D3 instead of D4. So good point. He's going to be in front trying to. Do you think he would? What would he do right now? As sort of the movement, which is like the last phase of this combat round. He has the opportunity to move. Where would he move?
I think he would just move between like me and the other
Pterodactyl.
combatants.
Okay. Yeah.
And just hold the shield up.
Perfect.
And that's
Awesome.
it.
So he goes to block. He sort of ducks down, covers you like he does all the time and is used to doing probably. All right. So that combat round's over. And now it's back to declare actions. So Hecate, what are you going to do this round?
Stand up.
That's a great choice. You could cast a spell from the ground or something,
True.
I guess. But Core.
I'm gonna take my sword and swing it.
Okay. So you're going to swap. You have the spear out. You want to
Yeah.
just drop that and get your sword out and swing it?
Yeah.
You could do that.
Well, yes, I do want to do that.
Okay. So Zodus.
I'm gonna reload my crossbow and keep doing that.
Sounds good. It actually has like a magazine, I think. So
Ooh,
you can.
cool.
It just has like a. I can't remember how many shots. We'll check that out. It doesn't matter. Okay. For this adventure, it's filled. It's great.
Sounds good.
It's awesome. You have like a magazine, so you don't have to reload.
you
You
have,
just
like-
fire it again.
Like a shot limit before you actually have to reload.
I think there is. I can double check that. I mean,
Well, you
that's
don't have to
actually
check
in the
it right
player's
now.
manual. Actually,
Yeah.
Zodus, you can check that.
Yeah, I'll look it up
It's
while.
in the player's manual weapons section at the
Sounds
after
cool.
the table of the weapons and the costs and stuff.
Easy.
So, yeah.
All right. So enemy's going to do something. Who wants
So
to roll
somebody else.
initiative this time?
Yeah.
Hecate?
Yeah, I've been rolling great.
Oh, sorry.
I
So
believe
stand
it.
up. Is Gerald? I assume is going to defend.
Yeah,
probably
he's
do the same thing.
just going to be defending. I don't think he's got the punching
have
power.
shield
Can't,
bash.
and can't attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the skeletal servant / commanded undead
Yeah.
can't attack. So D6 roll.
All
Oppose,
right.
let's go.
6.
3. Players go first.
All right.
All right. So again, you do like melee missiles, magic movement. So melee core.
That one looks like he's on his last legs already.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
he's-
swing at the other one.
You're gonna swing at the healthy one, the
Yeah.
east, the one to the east. Right. The one to the west is reeling in pain behind you. You swing at the one to the east. Cool.
Jesus. I got 8 again.
8 again.
Yeah,
Okay.
which probably still doesn't hit.
That ended up at AC 8.
AC 8. Yeah.
AC 8. It dodges. It just dodges out of your way.
Oh wait.
Oh no.
Since I
no.
no, yeah, it is an 8. But since I switch weapons, do I still get like? Because you know it was like 1 2. Is it 1 again? Or
So
does the
your
not
spear
count?
was 3/2
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
right? So since you dropped it, you're now not using that weapon anymore.
Okay,
So
cool,
you
that's what I
start
figured.
fresh from the
Yeah.
new weapon for
Cool.
that particular statistic. Yeah.
Yeah, a swing and a miss,
Okay.
but not a crit fail.
That's
also
also
not a
good.
crit success.
All right. So you're getting ready. You're amped in. You got your sword and maybe your favorite weapon. We'll see. Missiles.
All right. My 3 shots. Let's see. First one is a.
Again,
10.
-2 to hit because it's still melee with core.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And so target AC 7,
Okay.
and then another 20.
At
I'm rolling great today.
least someone's rolling
Just
20.
stole my
and
luck.
a 19. I'm keeping these dice.
That's pretty good.
Those dice are going crazy. I should
Yeah.
switch.
All right. The first one you said was AC 7.
Yes.
That one goes wide. But
And
yeah,
then-
this is the same. This is the same Western one. that you've been attacking the whole
Yes,
time?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, just checking. All right, so the first, the sorry, go ahead. 19 hits
19 is a -2.
A. -2 is phenomenal,
Okay.
and the 20 is a hit anyway,
All right.
regardless. And see, how crit is it?
Let's see.
Higher is better.
2.
2. All right, so a 2 is for a thief-based character plus 2 damage.
Okay.
So you'll have total here 2d6 plus 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty
Okay.
good.
Okay. So a 2, a 2, and a +2.
Okay. Ooh, a lot of 2s going on. This game. So that's 6 damage if I'm
Yeah.
doing the math right.
So I think both of these are body shots.
Explain how you killed the
Right.
pterodactyl.
One of them hits into its lower body in the abdomen, and then the second arrow, you get one of those like sniper elite slow
yeah.
motion. All right, you can see it cutting an artery in the heart, and it exits through the other side.
Ooh, that pterodactyl just falls backward, splashes into the water, and just buffets against the shards of sharp rock below.
All right.
All right. Movements.
And I triumphantly stand up.
Roll test dexterity. No, just kidding.
It actually falls off the pier.
I know. All right, you managed to get up, no problem. This pterodactyl sees its friend, looks left for just a second, but tries to take vengeance and bite you, Core, because he's just engaged with you in the middle.
Yeah.
He'll see 10. What's your armor class again, Core?
One.
Just for a reminder.
It's
one.
a 1.
Gosh, he just can't. He just get in there. You just block with
We're just
your
in a war of
sword.
attrition at this point.
Oh, he can't hit you at all. He's just. That's all this pterodactyl gets right now.
Cool.
Declare actions.
I'm gonna take my sword and swing it.
Okay. Hecate.
I'm gonna try the sling again.
Okay.
I don't normally play like fighters. It's so cool just knowing like I'm gonna swing again.
Yeah, it's
I get now.
Zodis, what's going to be?
Now that we're all attacking the same thing, I think I am gonna switch to one of my daggers
Okay, cool.
and try and get some close in hits.
Okay, so you want to drop. So to do this quickly in the same round, you like drop your crossbow and then like grab it out and
okay.
attack, or you could, if you want to like stow it, you could maybe like move away, reposition.
I think Core's got it, so I'm gonna stow it.
Okay, okay.
Do I
Sounds
need
good.
to move away to stow?
No, you can stand
Okay.
right there and stow it. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so I will stow my crossbow.
Okay,
I am
and
not-
get your dagger out to be ready for a
Yeah.
melee attack next
I
time.
am not
sure.
superstitious. I am gonna take a second to switch my dice.
Uh-huh.
I'm sick of it.
It has been wild how
I am Core the Slayer.
Your Core the
I thought
swimmer.
it was Core the swimmer.
I guess.
Yeah, they're gonna push you into the water. You'll be just fine after that.
that's why you're having troubles is because you're not fighting in the water.
Oh, true.
I shouldn't have switched titles. I should have never challenged that Amazon to hold my breath. All right. Do you want to do the initiative roll this time?
Let's
Oh,
do it.
yeah.
All right, initiative.
4.
2. Okay, the party maintains initiative, so melee.
Can I? Yeah. All right. I'm the only one meleeing.
Yep.
Okay. 7 plus 4
Okay.
is 11.
Yep. So check your combat matrix. What AC does that hit?
5.
You hit.
Finally. So my damage is. I can two-hand it. I can two-hand it.
I think so. I thought in my original intent, I thought you were holding the shield, which was giving
Yes,
you that
I am. I
current
am
one.
doing it,
So you're
yeah.
probably one-handing right now.
Yeah, I am. That's cool though. That I can do that.
Yes.
The damage is 1d8 plus 5. If I was two-handing it, it would be 1d10 plus 5.
And is the attack rate?
Oh, it is up. Do I roll both the attacks and then the damage?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. You could have hit this. It's up to you. You can do the first one if you want to.
Yeah, I'll just do
Yeah.
it
Oh,
one at a
sorry.
time.
If you were like melee attacking like two things, you could see what happens on the first one. Maybe you kill something,
then
then you could
switch.
attack the next
Yeah.
one. But in this case, it's the same creature. So
Yeah, I'll just roll both the
both
attacks.
of them. Okay. So first one hits. AC 5 hits.
Maybe it's just you.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not the Slayer. The second one is 7.
Okay.
So AC 9. I take it. Yeah.
So
Okay, so my damage for the first attack.
on the table. Gotta be on the table.
Yeah.
Gotta be on the table.
I think it's you. I don't think it's the dice.
4 plus 4 is 8. 8 damage.
Is it plus 5? Did you say it was plus 5?
4. 4 plus. Oh, it is plus 5.
Okay.
4 plus 5 is 6. Wait. 4 plus 5 is that. Hey, editor, take that out.
Leave it in.
4 plus 5 is 9.
There you go.
9 damage.
All right. Describe your solid hit.
I think since we've been whiffing each other all day, it comes down to bite me, and I like weave that one, and then before it like pulls its head back, I just gash it kind of like at the base of the neck
Oof.
and leave like a deep cut there.
it's kind of squeals, but when it squeals, its larynx, this just like this blood just like bubbles out of its neck areas. You've probably slashed a critical artery at some point.
And that is me.
Missiles.
Missiles. Let's do this. I can make it.
-2 for being a melee. Don't roll a 1, 2, or 3.
Okay, so that's 9 that I got. I think that means target AC 10.
That is a
Oh no.
ding ding ding. It hits the mountain and ricochets off into the
At
water.
least I didn't crit fail.
That is true.
True. That is an improvement from last time.
Other missiles.
I am storing my crossbow.
Okay, and you pull out a dagger. All right, and so do you want to stay in melee range right now? Do you want to
Yes.
reposition? Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to stay here so I can stab him next round.
Okay, sounds good. All right. It goes in for a bite. Of course, it's
Yeah, we're locked in. at
it
this
just
point,
comes down
yeah.
again, tries to reel on you.
We got real beat.
It's AC because you had your AC 1.
It's crazy, yeah.
AC 1.
Yeah.
God, it just can't. You just buffet it with your sword. It cannot make purchase on you. This round you see it look a little like after it misses you again, it just starts to like look around, just for a moment. All right, declare actions. Hecate.
I think we're just gonna do the sling again.
Okay, Zodus.
Melee.
Okay, dagger. Core.
I'm gonna take my sword and swing it.
Okay, initiative. Hecate, why don't you roll it? Or yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got this.
Ref's
Easy.
got a 4. Ref's got a 4.
6.
Ah, man.
Nice.
Gosh. All right, melee.
Do you want to go first?
Okay. Yeah, I am going to stab at it. As you guys look, you see that the dagger is casting light,
Oh.
illuminating our field of view a little bit. Another 19.
19 on the dice?
Yeah, on the dice with the attack modifier +2 puts me at 21.
I want to roll like you.
-4.
Mine AC -4.
Yeah.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
Okay. D4 +3. So 2 + 3 is 5.
Oh, another solid hit. Describe that one if you'd like.
Yeah. I am going to come up under it and slash at one of its Achilles tendons.
Oh, it just kind of hobbles a little bit down on a leg. Core.
Surely.
Don't call me Shirley.
Okay, that's solid.
Okay.
10 plus 4 is 14.
Okay.
And
AC.
that's AC 2.
Sick. Describe that. Oh, roll for damage. That's a hit.
Oh god. What's a D8 in this world? 4 plus 5 is 9.
Describe your kill, Core, as you feel like you just got enough damage
Yeah,
in
just
there.
got exactsies.
Exactly.
I think after, so you cut the heel, hit its slash, and I think it starts to like put its weight on, like it starts to like stagger a little bit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think I want to like, as it begins to fall, like just jam in where like on that side of him, and then bring my sword through it and cut his stomach open.
This just like guts just like fall out on the dock in front of you, and it's just pile of blood. It just and just collapses like right on the dock.
And then
Just can't.
as he falls, I'll scrape the grana off my boot and go, "That's for my boot."
Nice. You successfully defeated the Ravy Pterodactyls. That pterodactyl was looking around. If you didn't kill it that turn, it
was gonna run.
It might have tried to run away.
Okay. All right.
Perhaps. Would have had to make something called a morale check, as you may have heard in other game systems. But
Oh,
that took
fun.
enough damage. It saw its friend go down. But we'll never know.
How
Never
do
know.
morale checks work?
Great question behind the curtain. So every creature has a morale value. So similar to that reaction, which is a 2d6 roll. If you roll equal to or under your morale score, then you would stay. He would stay in place. This actually functions similarly. This game has like hirelings and henchmen and stuff. They also can have a reaction based on how much they like you, and they may run if things
you're
are
not
going
worth it.
dicey.
Yeah,
or you're not
cool.
paid as much money.
I like
So that gives you that flexibility. But so this would have had a maybe a moderate morale level in some way.
And then if he
Yeah.
did try to run, would I then get an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, so if
And-
something like turns and flees, you do get this game is called like a rear attack.
Okay.
So they would like fly, and then their AC would be reduced by 2 also.
then
so you sort of-
surely I hit.
Yeah, you get like a free attack and at a +2 to hit
Nice.
if they're running away from you, fleeing away from you.
Yeah.
One other advanced combat thing, or just one of the advanced movement options, you can do something called a fighting withdrawal. Anyone can do that. You sort of like back up slowly at half your movement, but
Okay.
you would not take like one of these opportunities, sort of. You would not take an attack for opportunity equivalent. You
I
sort
like
of,
that.
but you only move half your movement back. So in this case, for instance, we're playing on a map, 5 foot squares.
Yeah.
If you have like a move of 40, like Hecata, you could move back 20 and still, not have that attack. But if you're like, I gotta get the hell out of here, I'm gonna go 40, then you would like open yourself up because you're turning, exposing your back and running away. Then they could get a better swipe at you.
Okay.
Cool.
But you find yourselves boot a little more clean. Some dead piles of pterodactyl, one splashing in the water. The blood just, you get this blood smear rippling down the water.
Since we split its stomach open, do we see any more scraps of black cloth in there?
Interesting. Roll a d6. See if you can see down in there
Okay.
as you're kind of exploring.
4?
It's hard to tell. It's guts, and it's hard to tell.
Okay. Maybe it wasn't this. Maybe it was something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of it's a little gross. It's just like guts, like you've trapped and hunted. You've all hunted. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's hunted an animal at some point, probably being in the wild at your level. Nothing. You find nothing, and you see before you. You hear the only thing you hear is this little splash of water, buffeting the rocks, and you see these 2 cave entries ahead of you.
All right.
I guess we continue south.
Yes.
I do want to, since I have this cool armor, and obviously it does work,
It's pretty damn good.
I do want to switch to, instead of having my sword and shield out, to just two-handing the sword.
Okay.
And my sword also casts light in a 20-foot radius.
Ah.
Oh, mine's only a 10-foot radius. So
Well,
lead
if
the
we
way.
tape your dagger to my sword, we can
It's 30. Yeah, that's how that works.
That's how that works. I don't see that on the screen here. Yeah, and that's a good point because you look in front of you, and it is dark in this cave. Though little light from the sky, but very quickly into here it gets pretty dark.
Okay.
I do think I would take point as we continue south.
Sounds good.
And I will light my hooded lantern.
Ooh,
What
excellent.
you got there?
A hooded lantern actually gives you a 30-foot radius of light.
Okay, so it's like our dagger
Nice.
sword.
And since I'm in the back, I think it'll.
Oh yeah.
It kind of
a Venn
the
diagram
bubble
of,
is
like-
like oh yeah. What's the little skirkle? The dagger. Okay, so that's a good point. So you're what's going to be the kind of marching order heading in here?
I think
Is it core at the lead,
Gerald's in the back.
guarding the
He's-
rear?
Oh,
Okay,
smart.
okay.
making
Moonwalking.
sure no
Is he
more
moonwalking?
pterodactyls come in.
Is he moonwalking or is he walking with a shield on his back?
That's good.
and his
Backpack,
big-
a little backpack
Yeah.
shield. That's cool.
Yeah.
up to you.
I tell him he's wrong no matter what he does.
That's a toxic relationship. Gerald, you deserve better.
One-sided. Just one-sided. Man.
No, I think he's probably like. I think walking backwards makes the most
That makes sense to me.
for
That's
it.
what I would do if I
cool.
was a skeleton.
Yeah.
It's like a lookout.
Or what if I just like
I was about to say, you could just
replace his legs so that then they're on backwards so he can just walk normal.
Walk normal, but his top half is still behind us, blocking.
So weird.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Just like twist his torso, and he's just spine like cracks as you relocate part of his body. But okay.
And I'm gonna pull out. I have 2 daggers. I'm gonna pull out my second, as they both cast light.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So there's a cool like 2-weapon fighting thing in this
I
game too.
saw that. I did not want to learn it on the fly.
Sure thing.
Because I felt like we were
yeah.
in a good
That's cool.
rhythm, but I think I
Yeah,
understand.
it's just
it.
like some it's minuses to hit on each of them, but you
Yeah.
get 2 attack. Your attack
That's
rate
sick.
sort of becomes 2/1 with the daggers
Yeah.
instead of 3/2. It's
Cool.
pretty cool.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, you see before you. Oh, sorry. Who's? Oh yeah,
Me.
Zodis, then Hecata, then Gerald.
Mhm.
So as you approach Core, you look around. You don't see any more animal tracks or anything. And just quickly, it's just this sort of natural. It's kind of an arch. Just kind of a rounded arch. It's about like double your height. It's kind of like 12 feet tall. Seems pretty tall. It comes down. It's about 6-7 feet wide, and then diminishes to a little bit less in this area. But yeah, you advance. You just see seems like a natural cave opening, but this pier just sort of keeps going into the the wood just seems to keep going in for a little bit, built into it. So I'm gonna reveal a little section here.
Listeners, we can now see the first room of this dungeon. It's got railroad tracks.
So as you advance up, the wood sort of planks they kind of like go into the stone floor, and then the wood kind of goes away, and then it becomes like a stone floor beyond your view. But yeah, you enter this room. It's just like Again, it's 20-foot light. Pretty good. You guys are feeling pretty good about that. You
Yeah.
don't have to manage that too well. You feel really strong. You're getting some nice cast shadows from behind you too. It's really weird because this bullseye-less lantern is just kind of the hooded lantern is sort of, casting lights. It's just a really weird shadow play happening as you approach this this cavern. Still natural cavern. This room again is about 12. It kind of opens up. Maybe it's 15 in the middle, but it's all kind of rough. And you do see what looks like minecart tracks, maybe, but they are like so rusted and brittle and again still maybe kind of preserved but worn. And there's just some like detritus, just debris and like maybe little chunks of metal, maybe little pieces of wood. At first glance, as you enter this relatively natural chamber, it's kind of like a 30 by 30-ish, but it's pretty amorphous. There is a passage. It seems like these minecart tracks maybe keep going south. And then another passage opens, kind of natural passage opens up to your west as you approach this room from the north.
Well,
I think we keep going south.
works for me.
Yeah.
All right, you kind
Trudge
of
south.
trudge south. All right. Very quickly, the minecart's track starts to like slope downwards and starts to descend a little into the darkness.
Okay.
The passage narrows to like 5 or 6 feet wide as you advance to the south, kind of bends to the west a little bit. And all of a sudden, you approach what looks like, some wood on the floor again, similar to what you saw on the dock. As you approach, of course, since you're leading the way, you've done tracking and things. Kind of catch you off guard just for a second. But as the stone floor you're kind of walking on, all of a sudden there's pieces of wood, and maybe there's some holes in them, and it looks dark kind of below where this wood is. But the tracks seem to continue across as you gradually are starting to descend downward. And again, the temperature is surprisingly still getting warm as you head down. It's now about like 80. You feel like 80 degrees. It's very strange. But perhaps it's just the rim of the world after all.
Makes sense to me.
Definitely couldn't be the volcano.
Yeah, no.
No, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I'll just point that out. I mean, the tracks continue, the passage continues.
Okay.
See some
Go
stuff on
on.
the floor.
Let's continue.
All right, so you advance. Core, you advance. Core, roll a test of dexterity as the wood beneath you breaks.
New dice. 2 under 3.
2 under 3. All right, you fall like 4 feet down, but maybe you're walking between the minecart tracks. Your weight, Khmerian, big guy,
Yeah.
just shatters the wood as the floor falls beneath you into some sort of pit. But you like jam and like catch your arms on these like minecart tracks. But you're like halfway down into some pit that probably keeps going.
Ugh.
Good thing you're wide.
Yeah. 4-2. Can I like climb up, but then like use my sword to like dip it down and see if I can see anything in the pit?
Sure. It looks yeah, as you kind of like, that's really cool. You can like look down. You see a pit that's maybe like 15 feet deep.
Dang.
That just has again these shards of like rock that
Ooh.
we're kind of discussed about that might be outside. It seems like some of these really harsh, sharp fragments have existed in maybe some pockets in the cave that they obviously tried to cover over, perhaps when the mine was in operation.
And I push myself back up. And
Yeah,
I
you're
go,
able to climb up. It's fine.
Make sure you watch your step.
Yeah. So this section of like wood seems to be about 10 feet long, and you've sort of shattered through the first like 5 feet of it.
Okay.
And now there's like a hole. Now there's still these minecart tracks. They're kind of, long pieces of metal that are sort of continuous spanning across this gap. But yeah, Corey, you're kind of, I assume you climbed back up to where you were.
Yeah.
Not like forwards into more wood or anything. So
Yeah.
now you're back here. There's a 5-foot hole. Minecart tracks just, go across. And then there's more like some wood that seems to be still maybe intact. And then it appears that beyond is back to solid ground.
Can you give me like an estimate on how far beyond is solid ground?
It's 10 feet. It seems to be 10 feet total to get
Okay.
across this. You've busted through the first 5 feet of wood that's fallen into this pit. There's another 5 feet of wood, but the tracks seem to go all the way across. Maybe it's hard to tell where they actually start and stop, but the metal is continuous all the way across, like little rails.
I do have a cool ability for
Oh, yeah?
this particular moment called leap.
Oh,
I can
okay.
leap if I'm unencumbered up to 25 feet, can I just jump from this section to the next stone section?
Absolutely, with no check roll required. Welcome, barbarian.
See you on the other side, and I core the Slayer a leap.
Wow.
You
Very
bet you
cool.
bet 10 feet? It's like a little broad jump.
Yeah.
Just like, oh.
I'm warming up.
You just standing broad jump over there, and you land on solid stone ground again that continues to descend.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That is quite the jump. Can I roll a manipulate traps
Mhm.
to see if this was a deliberately made trap or if it's just from the decomposition of this mine?
Good, sure thing. That's great. So that's going to be a D12 roll. Any kind of progressive thief skills is what this game calls it. Is a D12 equal to or under your current ability in that skill.
Okay, 5 and 12. I got a 1.
Got a 1. You're like, no idiot would make a trap in a working mine. Obviously, this is like just from old age and decrepitness, and
Perfect.
it makes a lot of sense why they would want to cover these up. If there's weird sinkholes, maybe they pick the average grade, through this area to build the mine originally. Seems
Okay.
very, very logical that they would do this.
Good. Okay.
So, Tis, can we not just take a minecart across?
That is a wonderful idea. Thank you. Let's do that.
Okay, please go and fetch it. I'm growing tired and bored.
Well, can Rodus here help me put it on the tracks?
Gerald.
Rotus.
Skeletal, Zodus.
Fine. Gerald, go and help.
Thank you. So we go and put one of the mine carts onto the track. Do we
Okay,
need to
so,
roll
you,
for
so
that?
when you were looking in the back room, the decrepitness of things, and you do see what looks to have once been a mine cart.
Okay.
There's a couple wheels. As soon as you touch it to move it, it just crumbles. Any of the wood that remained on it crumbles to dust, and the metal, while still intact, you're like, maybe the thought of tetanus sort of pauses
Yeah,
you for
yeah.
just a second, and it just you hear Hector, you hear this like crumbling pile of something behind you.
Wonderful.
It's not Gerald, I promise. Well, unfortunately, those mine carts are out of service and dust. So we're gonna have to find another way across.
Isn't there another entrance, another cavern that we can go through?
There is. You don't think you can jump 5 feet?
10 feet?
Oh, the wood on the other side might
You
be
expect
as
me
rotten.
to leap?
or be thrown by Gerald here.
You could also. Am I close enough to hear? Are they,
Oh yeah, you're
yeah.
10 feet away. Standing on the
You
other
can
side of
also
the
just balance on the railings.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. And I am going to try and balance over the top of that. Do I need a dex or anything?
I'll just give you a test of
Okay.
dexterity. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
It's a little. I mean, you gotta get a little bit.
5. So I do not pass. Just
You're
like this.
Just like this. Yeah. For some reason, it's so worn. You're used to them being nice square top or something. They're
Yeah.
so curved. It's way slipperier than you thought. But you took it a little too cocky. But since you knew that there's a pit and you would be falling, I'm going to give you an extreme feat of dexterity now to
Okay.
catch yourself as you're falling down, trying to catch onto one of these rails.
What's your number for that?
32.
Okay, that's,
So-
that's decent odds.
So different classes get a bonus to an extreme feat sometimes. So fighters actually get a bonus to extreme feats of strength. Thieves get a bonus to extreme feats of dexterity. You get a plus little 8%. Just kind of thrown in there. Get a little difference to some of these things. So
Yeah.
32, yeah, awesome.
pretty
32 or
good.
under.
Here we go. That is a 3.
Hell
A
yeah.
3?
Yeah.
He's dexterous as hell.
Explain how you somehow fall but end up standing right back where you are.
Yeah. So man. Yeah, this is a tough one. So
3.
I slip off of one rail, and as I'm falling, I push myself and land on the other rail and try and make it look like it was on purpose.
It almost looks cool.
Almost.
Wow, he's so confident. He's jumping from rail to rail.
Yeah, you managed to. Then you just kind of shuffle across with that roll. You just kind of shuffle across.
All
and
right.
Now you're on the other side with the barbarian.
See, it's not that bad at all.
Heck yeah. You look beyond, and the passage that you're on continues to go down. You see more minecart tracks for the two of you. It just keeps going, and eventually seems to curve south a little past your view.
I'm gonna pull out my silk rope.
That's a good shot.
I'm going to
Okay.
tie it around my waist.
Sure. Yeah.
Around Gerald's waist. And around this thing's kind of like a loop, so I can.
You kind of
slowly-
slide it on the cart. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can
on the
just kind of
tracks.
like slide along, and if I fall, I catch myself, and then I can hopefully pull myself back up.
That is perfectly ingenious, and you have no problem doing it. You slip
Yeah,
a
that
little
makes sense
bit,
to
but
me.
you're kind of just low, and you're holding on, and you're going steadily. And with your rope to guide you, you have no problem getting across these tracks as well.
There we go.
All right.
And that wood seems a little creaky at the end. The second half of this seems maybe equally as decrepit as the front half.
We'll never know.
Never know. Never know that. Never know. All right, you managed to keep going to the west. I'm going to reveal another section.
Okay.
So you advance down the passageway about another, 40 feet or so. Still descending down. Still getting slightly warm.
You,
Yes.
Zotis, you, credit where credit is due. You seem to have a better eye for the finer things than I do. Would you like to take point so I have a lower chance of falling to my doom?
Yes, definitely.
Get the old party swap.
It's
Yeah.
a little awkward in this 5-foot passageway that you find
And I'm
yourself.
super
but,
wide,
you
right?
know,
So I gotta like.
yeah, you gotta kind of
Yes.
just go under my legs. It's fine.
Yeah, I do have a manipulate traps, and I move silently. I don't really have a detect
Detect
traps.
decrepit
Yeah, you're
wood.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Okay.
Well, if I was wrong, I can. we
no,
can-
that's okay. I've got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually come upon about 40 or 50 feet down the passage. Another area of this wood sort of appears before you.
Okay.
Zotis, as you kind of stop the party.
Halt and give a little hand signal. We've been working together long
Mhm.
enough, a couple of my dumb little hand signals. I'll go over first this time, and I would like to use my climb ability
Okay, cool. Like it.
to try and make it over easier this time. That is a 5
Okay.
under 9.
All right. So,
Yeah.
yep, Thief skills out of the climb ability. So, yeah, you're able to kind of, I'll just say skirt across the tracks. Seems fine.
All
Tracks
right.
go across again, just like before. Seems like wood. Seems fine.
There are some good handholds here and here on the rock wall.
Oh.
Is it still within leaping distance?
This again seems about 10 feet across the wood. Yeah, you just
I
want to
will
leap.
leap.
I will
Just-
make room for you to land.
You land on
This is my
Zotis.
favorite version of a barbarian.
You just kind of pounce and just broad jump again. And he does show you where these handholds are. Seems pretty legit.
Yeah, because there's no minecart rails across this section.
This
is
one
there?
also has minecart rails across, actually.
Oh, I'm just gonna do the same thing.
The
Okay.
rope classic.
I'll look kind of nod as you're explaining all these
Oh,
handholds.
so you the handhold right there and
Yeah.
there.
And
and
as
there.
I'm looking at you, I'm tying off the rope. And
The disrespect.
Hecate, you easily managed to make it across. Gerald, however, I'm just kidding. You said you tied him up too.
Yeah.
Never mind. We'll repeat the same procedure last. All right. Yeah, you get across. And all of you kind of get across. Ooh, yeah, no problem. We got those handholds. Whatever. We got this mine down. You start to hear a little, is that like rushing water? And as you continue to the west, again, the trail, sort of minecart descends, heads south again. Thanks for working with my last minute map. Pieces of paper covering sections.
No,
No,
I
it's-
love
it's
this, man.
cool.
This
I
makes a
love-
lot of sense.
Yeah, and I also love the visual. You see more as you go in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, little fog of war sort
Yeah.
of thing going on. So all of you start to hear this rushing water, and you approach what looks like a built stone bridge. Where again, the minecart tracks again, a little decrepit, but it seems like there's this built stone bridge over some rushing water below. And again, as your wonderfully convenient magical swords and lanterns kind of illuminate this area, you're able to see, still about a 10-foot ceiling. It's pretty nice in this area. The water's maybe 4 or 5 feet below you. But it is splashing, kind of splashing in this area, and you're getting a little. There's that slight moment of cool. Oh, it's almost welcoming. Is this water? Just the water in general in this area is a little It's moving as fresh and kind of steams a little bit as it hits sizzles. But there's a little railing on the east side of this bridge. Nothing really on the west. And again, the minecart tracks kind of continue across and goes into the area. Zodis, as you approach this area.
I would like to detect secret doors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that railing seems a little suspicious.
A little door shaped.
Little
little
door shaped. So what's your detect secret doors
It is
ability?
3 and 6.
So this one, I'm actually going to roll.
Oh,
So some of these things, this particular item, it kind of leaves it up to referee. This one is sort of a little more secret thing.
Yeah.
But 3 and 6, I'll
Yeah.
see. Okay. You don't seem to see any secret doors or moving parts. It seems like the railing again is almost like monolithically carved out of this stone bridge itself. It's really a pretty big piece of stone. It's pretty nice. Looks pretty
Okay.
solid.
Well, if it looks solid, I'm gonna cross it.
Okay. As you start to walk, seems okay, and then the splashing kind of hits you, and then again you realize how slippery this floor is on this stone thing as this water is washing and likely eroding this thing over time. Roll one more test of dexterity for me as you just kind of looks fine.
Yeah, erpy derp my way across. I got it. 4 out of 4.
4 out of 4. All right, you see him uncharacteristically, then kind of just like stop in the kind of this latter half of this section.
It's a little slick. Might want to throw the rope over or jump again.
This one's about 15 feet across.
I would like to jump again. Is that okay?
You just yeah,
Actually,
you can.
if you want, I can. Do you want me to like take the rope to the other side and kind of act as an anchor?
I would appreciate it.
I grab like one
Me
end of the.
and Gerald.
Yeah, sure. I grab one end of the rope and I leap across majestically.
Yeah, it's this beautiful, like, you jump through this splashing water. I imagine you, like, whip your hair back as
Yeah.
as the water splashes up you.
Stallions mane.
Everyone's like, "How's he
Hair.
jumping in slow motion?"
Double jump.
And I kind of like, I don't know, look for a place to like brace and like
Oh, yeah.
stand taut as
Yep.
I like anchor the
Yeah,
rope.
you can just kind of like hold your hand on the wall. Zodis maybe finds one of these little handholds. It's still roughly hewn, stone getting down here. It's pretty rough, but yeah, you're able to
anchor the.
you brace. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Barring any shenanigans,
Sure, which surely
you-
won't occur. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you
just
begin to
using
go
the.
across.
You said that there was that rail.
Yeah,
there,
it's
so just-
it's. You realize now it's kind of a low railing. It's maybe like
This
2.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
So it's think about it. It's a little low.
Yeah.
Might not have been as top heavy. You're a little top heavy. Might have been a
Yeah.
little risky.
It was for the carts. It wasn't for
Oh,
people
true.
to cross. Yeah.
Mm. But yeah, with the rope, you're able to. Again, it's a little slippery. You kind of. Gerald has a little tough time.
Mhm.
Bone on stone. It's still tough. But you managed to get across. It's pretty good.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yep. So you
Ropes,
kind of
man.
come around. Yeah.
Ropes are.
I always like wonder. People like do all this stuff, and then they're like, you get through all of it. Somebody died in a trap or something, and you're like, we all had rope.
Dude, I was about to say,
Oh my
I don't
gosh,
think I've
we
ever
forgot.
actually used rope in a dungeon.
Yes.
The only time I feel like I use rope is to enter the dungeon. Like you get to a well and you're like, I climbed down a rope.
Yeah.
Never again.
If this is the first game where you've used rope, I feel very
Like
very,
60 foot of rope for what?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's getting used.
We tie them all together and make a jump
a
rope.
super rope.
Okay, so you guys come down. Zodis still leading the way, I presume.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The minecart tracks sort of come into the ground and kind of stop. You feel like you've reached a low point,
Okay.
and as your your lit swords come around the corner, you almost like you're startled for a second as you almost see your reflection in this what was kind of gray natural stone kind of coming down here, obviously a little softer carved out. It turns into this like black onyx around you as it kind of merges into that sort of type of stone.
Ooh.
And you
Okay.
begin with the light flickering around you. You see yourself for a second, just for startle. And then you start to see, like, as you emerge into this chamber, it gets even taller. Maybe it's 20 feet tall, 30 feet tall for a second. It kind of goes out of your, just a quick view as you see it. But it's this almost beautiful scene of these, like, little twinkle star. Like, is it stars? these diamonds? Like just strewn about? But as you kind of look at one really quickly, you're like, maybe it's quartz? I don't know. Thief, you're like,
okay.
it's a little quartz. But it looks beautiful. There's little starlight twinkles amidst this reflective black onyx as you approach this larger chamber before you that I'm going to reveal a little more of as well.
All right.
And as you come into this chamber, you see again beyond you that there's all of these, also these black onyx shards of stalactites and stalagmites coming out of the ground, and it's just, but the twinkle, it's really nice. It's really kind of nice. And then like somewhere from beyond, it kind of catches you off guard. You hear sort of a weird like scared voice, maybe from this like southern branch of the passageway that you come into. What's that?
Who goes there? I yell.
Okay, it sort of echoes for a second. Who goes there? Who goes there? There's kind of a pause. For the same southern passageway. Please, no.
Well, there's not supposed to be anyone alive around here. Perhaps it's one of the last party.
Perhaps.
Would you like to take the lead, Core?
Sure thing. And I start making my way down that southern offshoot.
Okay, you right before you get at the intersection, you hear, I shouldn't have come. I shouldn't have come. Further down that southern passageway.
We heard tale of another party sent by Toothstick. Would you happen to be one of them?
You hear a different voice from further east in the passageway. The guide said it was this way.
I'm gonna would above me, Wesley. Would there be any like, because we've been adventuring for a while, is there any role or something I could do to know if it's like a weird like a because Wesley's brain is going, this is a mimic of some sort, like some kind of but if I core wouldn't know that, then I don't want to act on it. So I don't know if there's like, I want to like search the far reaches of my mind to see if there's like, if I know or like tale, or if I've encountered any like monster or creature that can mimic human speech.
Sure. Do you have any like otherworldly knowledge or like, magical things or
Got boating.
boating?
I have sense magic.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I think that's like the most relevant one. Other than that, I have sorcerer's distrust. Yeah, no.
I have discern noise.
True. Yeah. Cool.
Can I try that?
Yeah.
To see if it's a like legitimate human voice?
Sure.
I do not. No.
What did you roll?
I got a 11 over 5.
Oh, okay. So yeah, again, you heard the same voices I told you. Core, why don't you roll a d6? This is sort of a little out of your wheelhouse.
I got a 1.
A 1?
Nice.
1 under question mark.
You know, it does catch you off guard. You're like, there's definitely like, the stupid mages always like make stuff. And, you've heard of like ventriloquism, like things, voices where they shouldn't be. Maybe something else is causing voices to happen where they're not supposed to be. Or, it's a little confusing. You're not 100% sure besides that. Heck, maybe similar knowledge if you're maybe D6. Or I can't remember if your particular character has any other special abilities that might apply in this situation.
I mean, read magic, but
Yeah,
I don't know if...
Yeah, just a little D6. We'll do task resolution.
A 1.
All right. Okay, this is
With
great.
the powers combined,
I know. We got
11.
some couple information.
Except for me, I'm just walking into the dark.
Yeah, sounds like evil.
Yeah, I mean, with your like undead control and knowledge, I mean, you have heard of there could definitely be a creature or something that might mimic voice in some capacity. I mean, but you've heard stories of lots of different things doing that. It's hard to pinpoint a specific one. There might be something might be afoot. The guide said it was this way. From the eastern hallway, voice.
Well, I'm gonna start heading towards the guide since Core obviously has the person down the south hallway.
Sotus,
Yes.
maybe not.
Not what?
I don't believe in this.
Okay, I'm gonna stop just past where Core is.
Okay. From the south passageway. Please, 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 no, no.
Yeah, I definitely feel like something's off, but we can't exactly ignore it, or it could come to bite us in the arse later.
Then allow me. Gerald! And I'm going to send him to the south passage.
Okay.
Gerald's finally
Okay.
putting in some work.
He looks back at you, looks at the passage, looks back at you.
Go on.
Clack, 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 clack. He kind of goes out of sight for a while. What was the AC on Gerald?
7.
7?
Well, because of the shield, it's down to
Oh, yeah.
2.
2, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty high, right?
What a tanky guy.
Let's see. You hear what could only be described as like maybe like a beetle's thorax cracking in like weird, and you hear like a cling as something, and then cling, 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 cling hits the shield.
Those are really
Okay.
good shield sounds.
Yeah.
Like, those are really-
Wait,
Oh.
sorry, let me roll. AC2 seems to be holding up for Gerald pretty well.
All right.
And it's like this really strange, like plates of armor, like chittering or something. It's very confusing from down the hallway, echoing now off of this thing.
Slowly walk back, Gerald.
And then again, you hear from the north passageway, which you haven't heard anything yet. Zodus kind of catches you off guard from the rear. Not that way!
I'm beginning to suspect we found the last crew.
Gerald runs out, like just almost like falls, and behind Gerald comes from the hallway. You see it. If you could imagine a demonic creature with like 8 legs, as if it was like a horse, but like 8 legs instead of 4.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, this creature comes from like behind you. You look, oh, Gerald, because maybe the shield's going a little bit. You see this little light, boom. Gerald pops out, but then all of a sudden you look up, and this thing like kind of walks very quickly, almost up the side of the cave wall, and like is coming up from the side. The front half of it rears up like a horse might, but 4 legs rear up instead of 2. But the legs are actually these like awful looking claws. Inside of each of the clawed hands as well, you see this like swirling mass of teeth, like a lamprey. What are you guys going to do? We're entering combat.
That's disgusting.
I hate it.
And have a cool Ankeg model for fun.
Ooh.
So something like this.
Okay.
It is now 10 feet away from you as Gerald is just like Gerald's now prone on the ground, and this crazy creature rears up. And you hear, it doesn't say it, but you hear, I can't take it anymore. Coming from the creature.
That's wild.
That is wild.
And it has these gnashy kind of claw teeth as well that sort of clack at you. Declare action. Zodus.
I am going to do an attack. Melee.
Melee? Okay. With your daggers that are out, right?
Yes.
So does that mean he has to charge?
Yeah, so yeah, you could like, you could like wait for melee. Maybe you're going to move in and
Yeah,
charge.
I'm gonna wait for it to
Yeah.
come towards us.
Yep. Okay. Core.
I want to drink my potion.
Sweet.
Is that would be
That
my
would be
turn?
your- that'd be
okay,
your turn.
That
Yeah,
is my
drink
plan,
the
and that would
potion.
be during movement.
Yes.
probably?
Yep.
Okay,
mhm,
cool.
Yep. Because you got to like get it real quick. And,
Yeah.
do it. Heck,
I'm gonna
And
drink
I'd
the whole
like
thing. I'm not gonna
to
leave a drop.
cast a spell.
Okay.
Specifically, Scythe of the Reaper.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. And then Gerald, gonna maybe stand up. Gerald will stand up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
defend. And yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do Zodus. Why don't you roll initiative?
All right.
I believe.
6.
Nice.
Oh, 1. You
Nice.
heard this clacking, that discern noise. Maybe even though it's failed, you heard some clacking earlier, so you were ready for something. Because you know, good party.
Mm-hmm.
But this creature just these clawed hands with teeth inside of them, and this chitinous body, all jet black reflective scales, almost blends in with the onyx behind it.
Cool. I
That
hate
is really
that,
cool.
but it's
Yeah.
really cool.
All right, you guys win. Go initiative. You so melee. If you,
Okay.
so you could.
I do have melee, but I'm gonna hold it
Sure,
until
wait till
he
the end.
gets to my
Okay.
location.
All right. So then, Core, you drink a potion.
Was that during melee?
Yeah. So melee is sort of like skipped if no one's doing it. Missiles magic. So magic would happen
Okay.
next, actually.
I cast it. Hey,
What did you see? The scythe of the Reaper.
Scythe of the
Scythe of the
Reaper.
Reaper. What is that like when
So,
you cast that?
I think it's, again, I open up the book, and this time I flip to a page, and then I reach my hand into the book all the way down through up to like my elbow.
Mm-hmm.
And as I like pull my hand back out, it's a small, like almost replica scythe. But as the hand comes out and I'm holding the replica scythe, we see at a point that I'm like pointing at a larger version of that replica scythe over there.
Whoa.
And I just kind of like adjust my hand as it's resting in my palm, and that is causing the scythe to
Sweet.
swing around.
Okay, cool. So now there's a scythe on the board somewhere. Here, you can use Brandon.
Yeah. He grabbed
Yeah.
something. I really thought he was gonna grab a little scythe. I was like, how do you have that?
No, I
How could you
don't
have possibly have that
I
ready?
don't have that. We had D6 or something. I don't know. It's up to you. We'll use the back of Brandon.
Actually, I'm gonna need that.
That's cool. So what's the range on that? So mechanically, these spells have ranges. right?
30 feet.
Yep. So, no problem. It appears up
above
against
his
the
head.
creature. Nice. Okay. And is able to attack. I think this turn as it comes in, or no? I just
It doesn't say, from what I can see. So, the floating weapon can be directed to attack any opponent within the spell's range. Strikes with the fighting ability. Extra.
does it appear next to
modifiers.
you, or then it goes 30 feet, or it appears 30 feet away?
Just says that it can be directed to attack any opponent within the spell's range. So,
All right, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it's sort of like it's sort of equivalently delayed its action. So I'm gonna say, yeah, it appeared. It has an action as part of your party. I think you can attack this turn during the
sweet.
at the move phase, I guess. So but no other magic. So movement. So you pop this potion, Core.
Mm-hmm. And I like.
You just remember this old woman. Every last drop.
Yeah, like the words, like you're watching a movie and the words echo in your head, and then and I go, now's as good a time as any, and I chug the whole thing, not leaving a drop. You hear the boom, 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 power up noise, and then so it's.
Yeah, so you get three. You're gonna get 3 hit dice of
Can I have D12s, my dear comrades?
temporary hit points for X amount of time, which I just rolled back here actually.
Okay. Oh no, you gave. I have one. Thanks, Gerald. Oh my god. Oh well. 2 of them were really good. One of them was a 1.
Okay.
So I got 2 11s and a 1. So
Okay.
23 temporary HP.
23 temporary HP. So you can put that on the top right of your sheet somewhere. That is crazy. And so your fighting ability goes up by 3, which means like effectively that chart shifts shifts over, but you could just add an additional +3 to your hit roll if you like. That's a little
Okay.
easier maybe to keep the chart the same.
Yeah, that'll make it easier in my brain.
So that's going to last a long period of time.
Cool. Cool. And then
What does it what does it taste like, you think?
I think it kind of tastes like zero pulp orange juice. Because I imagine heroic action.
Vitamin
Like you
C.
said, like potion of heroic
Yeah.
something, and I was like, oh, it's got to be orange. Like I don't know why, but that's what it was in my brain. So kind of like, but not like the best, like high quality. It kind of tastes like Sunny D.
Yeah.
All right.
And so it's like
little
weird
little
aftertaste.
aftertaste.
Yeah, exactly. But
little dry mouth, but
yeah, but I feel it
keep
already.
drinking.
So.
ooh, it's just running through your veins. You all see him just like hulk out a little bit more than he already is. I feel like you just that potion drops and it just the vial. I don't know where would the vial go.
I imagine I would like drink it and like just chug
Chuck.
it towards the back of like, where it came
I
from.
feel like you would do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Shatters.
Um,
It shatters down the hallway a little bit,
mhm.
and you hear from the north. Not that way. From the north passageway.
Sick.
All right. So then Gerald stands up, and now this thing You're able to. I'm gonna let you attack right now with
All right.
the scythe.
Scythe. So with
this thing's
this,
not made out of wheat.
my fighting ability is increased. Is equal to that of the caster for a base of that. Oh, and then I get a plus to hit. That's right. So let's roll. Oh, we're starting off strong with a 4 on the die.
For a total of
For a total of 5, 6. A total of 6.
All right, what AC does that hit for your fighting ability?
13.
Yeah. It does. You just maybe it's a little short. Maybe it's like over top of Gerald. Maybe you didn't. It's hard to tell with the depth and the blackness. It just maybe didn't quite get there, and just swings in the air, kind of doing nothing.
this monster is in fact not made of wheat.
Not. Huh. Interesting.
Weird.
This thing it just almost like plow. It tries to like plow through Gerald, and it seems to attack the nearest thing, which happens to be Gerald right now. Seems about right.
Yeah.
Its first attack. Again, it moves very quickly and just it's almost like jumps at you from all these 8-leg limbs, and then it rears up these 4 clawed hands and attacks Gerald. What's Gerald's AC again? Remind me?
2.
2. Okay. First one, miss. Second one, miss. How crit is it?
Oh no,
The third one is not a
Something.
miss, listeners.
Gerald.
Not a
It's
miss.
been nice knowing you.
Not a miss.
Can't wait to see you again in like an hour.
Yeah.
It does 4 points of damage.
Oh,
I think he.
Oh, it's 4 hit point. We said half hit dice.
Yeah.
Okay, so that first that does that. Not a major crit. And the last one does 2 points of damage, and it rears in for a bite. The bite misses though. Out of its mouth, although even though it sort of miss,
Well, like
shatter.
Gerald is dead at this point.
yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah.
asked for it.
Yes.
Okay.
But so he just it sort of almost like climbs through Gerald. 2 of the claws kind of miss as doesn't get purchased. The third one hits. The fourth one like just rips out the rib cage bones and they fly to the wall. And it goes to bite what was left, but the bones fall out of its way before it can bite down. But all of you see this black venom just fall out of its mouth on top of Gerald's body.
This thing's angry.
Declare actions.
I think
he was holding.
Oh, sorry, melee. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
you
he's
can jump in there in
close
melee
enough
if you'd
now.
like. Thank you.
You
Yeah.
want to move him up?
Oh yeah, you can move it up a little bit. As it's-
Let me put Gerald out of his misery.
Put him to
Put
rest.
him on
Yeah.
top of Gerald.
You could do that. Yeah,
I'm sure-
flat tokens. Yeah.
All right. So,
Are you two weapon fighting this
I
time?
am.
Going for you got 2 attacks, so they're a little bit reduced to hit.
yeah. So one of them's -1, the other one's -2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Off
Okay.
yeah.
Natural 20 on the first one.
The luckiest guy I know.
I know,
Unbelievable.
right?
Whose dice are these?
And a
Whose dice are
16.
these?
These are Damien's dice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
They're
really
about to be
wish that I
Joseph's
was
dice.
on this.
Yeah, I'm stealing these.
Is that 16 on the die or 16 total?
16 on the die.
Okay, so the first one is a hit for sure. So
Yeah.
let's check out
14.
the 16, what that results in.
Well, no, I guess it would be 16, right? Because you have plus. No, you don't have plus 2 anymore. You have -2.
I have -2 to my +1 dagger, so it's a -1. So it's a 15, which is 2.
AC 2.
AC 2.
Okay, both of those hit.
Nice.
So let's see how crit is that one hit?
How crit
is it?
How crit
I
is
like
it?
that. I like it a lot.
4.
4. So for a thief class, that's going to be ×2
Nice.
damage.
Okay.
So you can roll that many dice.
So the dice.
The
but
dice, not the
not the
modifier.
modifier?
Correct.
Okay,
That's a good
cool.
point. So any modifiers from strength, from a weapon ability, are always added on at the end. So they
Okay.
just do
Okay.
crit dice, roll all the extra dice, and then you add the modifiers later.
Cool. Okay, so the first one, 4 plus 3, 7.
Okay, that was on the crit. Okay, yeah.
And then the second one, 4 and 2 is 6.
Okay, so these are. You feel like you got somehow right through these armor plates. It's not dead, but you can describe 2 very solid hits on this thing.
Yeah, so right between the plates of the armor, I'm kind of aiming for the joints under one of the claws and trying to sever that limb from its body, and both knives kind of curling around that one spot.
Nice. So it's again cuts really deep. Again, this black venom kind of splashes out of its as its blood seems to be a little viscous, perhaps.
The black venom makes the light coming from my daggers more mottled.
Ooh,
and
yeah. Ooh, it's a
cool.
lot.
makes the light on the wall sparkle.
So
awesome.
it's so nice and sparkly in the chamber. For those of you still back there, it's a nice little glint. All right, declare actions.
I'm gonna
Sight.
take my sword and swing it.
Melee again.
Melee, cool. All right, Hecate. It's Reaper,
Okay,
side the
I
Reaper.
have a question.
Uh-huh.
Do I have to maintain concentration on this?
I'm gonna say no because it doesn't say unless it says it specifically. You
I'm
don't
not
have
seeing
to.
anything.
It's
It
out there. You can
lasts-
just
It lasts 1 round per caster ability, and mine's 4, so 4 rounds.
4 rounds. All right, so
I'm
you've
just gonna
got.
be able to use
You're
that.
down.
Listeners, he has a really
back to
cool
3
tracker.
left. What's that?
I was telling the
Okay,
listeners you have
yeah.
a really cool
Oh,
tracker.
that thing. Yeah.
Oh,
from,
yeah.
TNT Laserworks. If you're
Yeah.
in the Nova open area, there's a lot of these TNT
Yeah,
laser
we
cut
love
products.
them.
They're great. Yeah.
They're great. Yeah, check them out. I
Definitely.
think they've got an online store.
Oh yeah, yeah. They made a cool. They have a new board game now. It's cool.
Oh,
They
yeah,
have like
Stage
the
Stones.
stage stones.
Yeah, it's
Little
wonderful.
tournament at Nova.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Sage Stones. Yeah.
You love that game.
Yeah, so they're a lot of the Nova Open team as well. If you're interested in that section, come check out some RPGs at Nova.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3
Um,
rounds left. Yeah, yeah. I'm saying you can just swing it for 3 rounds.
Yeah, I think then on top of that, I'll just sling.
Sweet. Okay. Awesome. Who's rolling initiative this time?
Me.
All right.
And I will roll high. I will roll on the table.
DM rolls a 3.
I rolled a 1.
Thanks,
Okay.
Wesley.
Let's see. This thing just again it barreled through Gerald and is coming at. Well, it's like Core and Zodus are kind of 50-50 there. I'm gonna say it's gonna take 2 attacks at each of you. Zodus, you haven't really been hit yet. What's your armor class?
5.
Ooh, not bad. Okay.
Sorry, that took a second.
That's okay. The first one just you see this like it's the mouth, just like the spinning teeth inside of its already clawed hand comes at your face, but you dodge out of the way. Second one. The second one though strikes true, and you take 2 points of damage as this clawed hand sinks into your upper chest. And the teeth, you feel that like a just like when you jam into something and twist a little bit, it just you feel this awful gouge in your torso.
I hate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Core.
I'm currently
it-
sitting at 2 because I am two-handing my
That's
sword.
right. So now you're
AC is 2.
little bit worse. Not really. First one is a hit.
I should have kept the shield out.
Should I get? It's just.
I knew this was gonna happen. I knew
Just
this was
a
gonna
hit.
happen. I was like, no. That's why I got that temp HP. To
Uh,
compensate.
so again, this clawed hand it dodges your sword and does 4 damage as it hits your bicep as you're maybe rearing up to attack. Just, not the guns.
Yeah, but please, ladies love them.
okay,
The
it's
second
scars.
claw comes in. Oh, I rolled the exact same number.
No.
It just the other one gouges you another 4 damage in the side. However, you do have some armor plating, which I will just
Oh,
a nice
yeah.
DM and
So it's
remind you
actually
about.
3.
You have 3 and 3 because it's minus. You have DR1, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
For the chainmail.
Yeah.
So it's an extra. Yeah. So it'd be 3 damage for the first one, 3
Fine.
damage for the second one.
20, 19, 18. Okay.
These things like start to drill into your arm, and you feel the pressure on your chainmail, and it's just maybe the lamprey teeth don't get you. It's the claws get through the chains a little bit, pushing the links away from the surprising force that gets you. And the bite that it also has is going to go to one of you. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Heading towards core.
Surely this time.
Thank you for being
Sorry,
the
this
tank.
time.
trying my
I
best.
know. Rolls a 6 on the dice. Not gonna do it with the AC2. You're able to like bat his head out of the way, but again that venom just splashes a little bit. Doesn't get on you this time. But y'all take note of the venom coming out of
Oh,
his
I am-
mouth.
Definitely.
I'm well
Is it
aware.
like
I am
so?
noting.
Am I making it clear enough? This thing has something out of its mouth. Okay, so melee first.
Dibs.
Melee missiles, magic movements. Melee.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna
your
do
sight.
my scythe.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, there we fucking go.
All right. What you got?
That's 18
Nice.
plus the 2 on here, so 19, 20. 20.
All right. So what AC does that hit for your fighting
Dirty
ability?
20.
Dirty 20.
-1.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
All right, and damage for this is 1d8 plus 2.
Oh, solid.
6.
6 damage. Oh, you can explain how you feel like this thing is on death's door, but it doesn't quite take it out.
Damn. I think just this time, like, it's the weird angles that I have to go with this, like, smaller miniature thing on my hand. But then I finally realized that I can just drop So I
Ooh.
quickly drop my hand, and as the small miniature scythe just twirls in the air, we can see it mirrored over there as it just twirls and slashes down across the spine.
Love
That's
it.
sick.
This again, this black, this blood flies out of its back armor plates. Kind of like that sound. Cracking the liquid that flows forth.
Diet Coke spilling out.
That's what the venom is.
Car, sucrose, high fructose corn syrup falls out of the venom. Yeah, the gravity, just the gravity, woof, makes it fall in that beautiful fashion. It's like you've done this before. It's pretty good. Other melee.
I got it.
He's got it.
The first one does not hit.
Is this
That
the
is-
first time?
I know. It's like the first whiff. Just a whiff.
Unless a target AC 7 hits. Okay.
The clawed arm just bats your dagger out of the way.
I thought so. And then a 12 puts me at armor class 5.
You've hit a lot of things in your life with armor class 5.
I have.
Unfortunately, this creature's not one of them. As you jam on the plates, but it just jars your hand as the dagger just stalls for a second. You don't get through a crack in the plates.
Yeah. Aim for the weak spots. Like you guys didn't know that.
I know. Core,
I will swing my sword. Yay, verily.
2 hands.
2 hands.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of math. Naturally it's +4. I get an extra +3 from the potion.
From the +3
I
from
rolled
the potion.
16.
Jeez.
23?
Got
I'm
23.
taking Joseph's War for it. That hits a -7 AC.
That's gonna hit. Roll for damage.
And I roll a D10 now because I'm two-handing it.
Nice.
And that's this one.
Yep. It's gonna be plus something for damage too, right? Damage
Yep,
adjustment.
+5 for damage. I rolled a 10 on the die. That's 15 damage.
Oh, okay. Explain how you kill.
I
this
imagine
demonic creature.
Zoran? Sorry, I forgot.
Zodus.
Zodus kind of gets recoiled by this creature, and it turns to take note of him. In that second where it is focused on him, I just come from the other side and cut its head clean off.
And as the head falls off, as you shear this thing, the head falls to the floor in this splash of this viscous blood, and it just stares at you, and you hear, I can't take it anymore.
Jeez.
And then it definitely, it didn't speak, but you heard it from it. And it coalesces on the floor. You hear again from the north passageway. No, not that way.
Ooh, okay. I would like to throw one of my daggers into the darkness towards
Toward the north.
towards the north.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess roll to hit.
Okay.
Roll to hit the darkness.
Because
when you hit the darkness hits back.
okay, so as a missile weapon, I'm throwing my +1 dagger. Oh, yeah, because I can only do 1 on the first round. Wow, that's terrible. I have a 5.
Okay.
So it's somewhere around a 13 armor class, but it does illuminate in a 10-foot spear.
I like it. So yeah, you chuck it. You hear it goes this ricochet, ding, 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 and you see the light, and you do see just for a second, half of a similarly clawed hand, and then I'm sick of this shit, and the light fades, and then the hand kind of comes out of the light in the distance.
Okay.
And then the dagger light goes out. You hear a scratching on the floor.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Well,
That's what I'm doing this turn.
are we showing initiative? Or-
Now you're not in combat.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how long this potion's gonna last, so we have to pick a direction.
Let's go east.
From the east, you hear, oh my.
I'll take point.
Okay.
and then we go east.
Okay. Again, you see this beautiful scene of black onyx and quartz sprinkles. Not sprinkles. Sparkles.
Yes.
Dee, dee, dee.
I'm gonna switch to my crossbow. I want to.
Okay. Okay.
Now
Yep.
that I've
any
only got
other
one
any
deck.
other adjustments anyone would like to make really
walk
quickly?
As
ready. Sorry,
Go for it.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna walk with my sword at the ready for anything to lurch out at me.
Okay.
The miniature scythe just kind of like gets enveloped in like these like small black tendrils that then just rip the scythe apart, and then it fades away as the
Nice.
spell ends.
Nice.
Like
We'll take that back.
but as I come up though, oh Gerald, get up, and I'll do my skeletal servant.
Okay. Again, the text and the words, the purple goes to the bones, like you said before, and
Well, grab your shield.
Gerald again like looks at his hands, just like looks up at Hekata and just his shoulders almost shrug as it walks over and picks up the shield.
Will this never end?
Why did we live just to suffer? But he has a cool shield, so it makes it all worth it.
What is your purpose? To serve butter.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the passageway it kind of opens up again. And
We
you
go
further,
near the front.
there's a little bit of a. It looks like some sort of passageway goes to the north. This chamber is again. You're since you have the bullseye lantern and things like that, you can now see pretty clear. But again, this chamber opens up into a larger volume with a little passage kind of to the northeast that seems to go somewhere. And then also due east is another passage in that direction. And from the due east, you all hear only a bit further, I think.
It sounds like that guy knows where he was going, so I think we follow that voice.
All right.
At least he knew where he was going.
Lead the way.
I go. You said that voice was coming from
From the
this?
due east. Yeah, so northeast would be that passage. Due
Okay.
east is where the voice came from.
I will do east.
All right, well, actually, pause when Core gets to about right at the intersection. Core, roll a test of dexterity
I hate
as you hear something coming like
2 under 3.
something falls from the ceiling,
More background.
and you just like you kind of hear this like and something that you look up just in time as like half of a torso like and just like hits the floor in front of you as you look up, and there's blood just like dripping from the stalactites that are on the ceiling. Drip, drip, drip in front of you. And a little you hear a little like dink, 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 and you see something really shiny for a second fall out of this torso and head down and rolls into that east passageway as well. And then you hear only a bit further, I think, from the eastern passageway.
Well,
Can I shine the light up? Are there any other
Yeah.
bodies up there?
Yeah, you kind of shine the light up, and it looks like there's a different half, like maybe part of the same body, like skewered up. There's no head. It's like a quarter of a body up there pinned to the stalactites.
but just that one.
It's
no,
like it's like an arm and a chest and like part of a like maybe 10
like this
bones of a
part.
spine.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like the upper half.
Listeners, Damien's flipping through his spells.
I feel like I know where this is going. And then you hear, oh my, from the eastern passageway.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Gerald, I'm going to get you a friend.
That's
I'll
awful.
flip through, and this time, as I flip to this one, it's just my finger that kind of goes into the book, like into the
Sweet.
pages, and I
Yeah.
like swirl it around
It's cool.
as the words start to like get jumbled together until it's like stuck along my finger, and then I just lash it out and upwards towards one of those torso halves, and then drag it down to that other torso half.
It again just like just flips down and splashes again with more a little bit more human-like blood, it seems.
So for 1 turn per CA level, so for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
The corpse of a human or humanoid is animated to undeath and thenceforth controlled like a marionette by the sorcerer's waving fingers. The corpse can be directed to move, pick up objects, or even attack. The creature functions as a skeleton or zombie, depending on the stats of the corpse.
All right, this will be a skeleton, but it's going to be half of a skeleton. It's going to be the left leg and the full hip, part of a femur of the right leg, and then this half torso with a right arm. But then the rest of the body is missing. There's no head. There's a couple spine bones that pop up.
Close enough.
It's on like it creates this like weird tripod, like tripedal thing with like an arm, a half broken femur, and this left leg is a kind of, and it just kind of like the little neck bones kind of like look up at you from the base of this creature.
Oh, wonderful. I've always wanted a dog.
I'm gonna look at it and go, "You must be George." I heard about that.
Does it have a weapon?
It seems to like it could have maybe attack with its claw. Maybe it can
Okay.
like jab. Maybe it jabs people with the femur. You don't know. You don't. I mean, who knows?
Okay.
We'll have to find
Have to
out,
find
I
out.
guess.
Thanks. I hate it.
Yeah. A lot of those in this adventure we've been on.
Oh man.
I guess we'll continue east
Let's go.
with our new party member.
With our new party member. I'm sure that much like other dogs, little Georgie here would be more than happy to lure things out.
If you insist. And I gesture for George to take point.
Go, George. Oh, that's right. Sorry. And then I'll start waving my fingers, all marionette.
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
like.
yeah. You kind of have to like. It's like 3 fingers, and it's like, it's kind of like hobbles, and yeah, this sort of 3-legged skeleton creature kind of heads over into the eastern passageway. And again, when it gets about there, almost out of your view, another one of these demonic creatures just jumps down from the ceiling and sort of lands on this creature.
Better him than me.
I don't
my
know the
gosh.
stats of the skeleton, so
Yeah, that's just fine. I think you're good.
He's rolling all the dice.
So all 5 attacks, again, these claw. It's somehow the way you're marionetting things, like it's just so small and like weirdly shaped, and it's unnatural. The claws all miss as this thing dodges, and it bites, and it can't quite bite down on this thing that has like no armor class.
Oh no.
And more of this black venom drips. And now we're into combat again. As you see
Nice.
this creature
Cool.
jump over this George. Yeah.
A good
Zodus.
balance of dread and silly.
yeah.
All right.
So weird. George, what's it going to be? I mean, not George. I'm looking at Zodus.
Yeah.
Hey, George. Zodus playing the role of George.
Yeah.
gonna be?
Initiative.
Oh,
No, so you declare actions. So we
Oh,
declare
yeah.
actions.
Actions first.
Yeah.
Sorry. I am going to be shooting my crossbow. So missiles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna charge. So melee. Charge and swing.
Yep.
I am going to shocking grasp. So is that charge and magic?
Yeah. So you would magic this turn, and then you can melee next turn if you
Okay,
get it like
gotcha.
ready, because it takes like a turn to do that. Yeah.
Sounds
I believe so, unless there's something in the spell that says you can cast it while you're attacking. But I believe it's you cast it, get
me-
it charged up, and then you can attack. But if you miss, it doesn't go off because you haven't hit anything with it.
Range
Oh.
touch, duration instantaneous. The
Yep.
sorcerer touches a target, unleashing a jolt of electricity.
Oh, sorry. So you would walk up and then like
then-
attack someone, yeah, and
so
cast the
this
spell.
turn would be move.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We'll do so. Okay, so
in
that'll be the intent to move and cast that spell. Core
So charge and swing.
charge. Okay,
Yeah.
I think you're actually in charge range, which you haven't had a
Nice.
chance to do yet,
Yeah, I
which is
haven't.
good. Cool. Okay, well then charge rolls. Zodus, sorry, remind me what Zodus.
Missile.
Okay.
Yeah. Shoot my
All right, let's do some initiative. Sorry, I assume George maybe melee attacking. I guess.
Yeah, George will be
Okay,
melee
what about,
attacking,
what about
and
Gerald?
Gerald will be running up to defend. This time in more of like an active way.
Okay, cool.
So
Gotcha.
being up next to
Like
it
an
rather than
actual
just-
shield impact. Cool.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Who's rolling initiative this time?
I
Hecate?
just rolled, I think.
Hecate?
I got it.
I did rolled horribly.
Oh, Jim rolls
Just
a
like
5.
Damien did.
What do you got? 1?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, George. Hardly knew you.
Hardly know
Yeah.
him.
I don't know. He's kind of
He's
slippery.
so bad. isn't he?
Apparently.
Oh, first.
Oh yeah, he is slippery.
Actually, let's see. Damien, why don't you roll me a D8 for the hit? I'm gonna see how many hit points this thing has. So this is a 1 hit dice monster. You roll a D8.
6.
Okay. It's a little sturdy triped
Beefier
of
than
a
your
corpse.
average George.
Yeah.
I
Still
see.
had a lot of like the fleshy
flesh,
bits.
yeah.
All right, so you can write. Why don't you track that 6 hit points separately for George somewhere, just a tracking. So the first claw comes down and takes 3 hit points of damage as it like rips out the rest of the ribs of this thing. So now it's just like a spine attached to a shoulder blade attached to an arm, and then the hip and the things we talked about earlier. George. Another 3 points of damage as
All right.
shout out the third
George?
attack. It was going to attack this thing entirely though. Oh, the fourth attack hits. Okay, that would be another 2 points of damage. Does the bite hit just for fun because it's gonna no. As his bones fall out of the way, it just rips the little half a femur off. The lamprey teeth grind down on some of the bones, and you see like just like half of a little a tibia is like sticking out of this thing's lamprey mouth as it ripped off a bone and starts like digesting it into its hand. And you guys are up.
So I have a question.
Yep.
I know typically melee goes first, but
Mhm.
if I know both in and out of character that he plans on shooting this turn,
Yep.
can I hold to go until after he shoots?
Correct. So actually, since you're in the back, your charge actually happens on the move of the
Oh.
turn anyway, which is
Okay.
convenient. So you can
That is convenient.
yeah. So you
Okay.
can fire anyway. Fire away.
Cool. Firing away. And 11, so a 6 AC.
Okay. It pling. One of your repeating crossbow bolts nails it, but it reflects off of its chitinous armor, natural armor.
The second one is even worse.
Just misses. Goes to the back and hits something squishy in the back of the passage.
And then the last one is a 13, so a 4 target AC.
AC 4.
4.
Bing! Hits
Dang.
off this thing's chitinous the other direction, and it ricochets down the hallway. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, that
Alright.
repeating crossbow. Though. It's pretty
I
sick.
spin it as I charge it for its next shots.
That'd be sweet. You kind of like whip it around like a gun, and it just reloads the 3 shots or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that would be
that'd
cool.
be sick.
Yeah.
Atlantean technology. It's so cool. All right. So then other missiles. Damien, I guess, would be up for.
My move.
Yep, your move. So you could move in and then cork charge. Yeah. Or,
Yeah.
yeah. And then your
So,
other. Yeah. So you could do it in any order you'd like.
Can I charge
Yeah,
first?
go for it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So do I just move up and then roll a normal attack?
Exactly. So
Okay.
so in this case, that for the charge mechanic, you have to run at least 20 feet. So 4 squares. I think you're good shape here.
Okay.
And you're gonna have, if you hit, it's +2 damage.
Ooh.
But your AC is a little impacted by -2 for charging. So you're going in a little more reckless.
Okay. So next turn I'll have a lower AC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Just one attack.
Okay. 10 plus a lot. So 10 plus 7 is 17.
Okay.
I'm still buff from the potion.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay.
It's,
10 plus
yeah.
7 is
Yes, you are.
17,
Yeah.
so
This
that's-
is like a minute later.
That's a -1 AC that I hit.
That is a hit.
And so 1d10 plus my bonuses plus 2, you said?
Yeah. Plus an additional 2 for
For the
charging. You
charge.
get a little extra oomph on your charge here.
So that's a 9 plus 7 is 16 damage.
Wow.
Explain how you kill this one in one
Jesus.
shot.
Wow.
One opportunity. Yeah, man. That I didn't.
I didn't think that was gonna happen either. I was like, oh,
I think it rips George apart, and then oh, this sounds cool. I think as like one of the arrows that like ka-chinged off of its like plating, its natural plating, I think kind of cracks a spot like in its we'll say in his chest, and then me being Core the Slayer, right? I recognize that you've damaged part of its natural armor, and I think I just charge and jump and then just drive my sword right into that spot, and I still like driving into it, it falls to the ground, and then it like spasms a bit and then falls dead.
and as it falls, and your sword comes out of this venom, you just hear, only a bit further, I think,
Jeez, that is.
and it falls down
Always
to the ground.
unsettling.
Yeah, I hate that.
And then
It's
I kind of
great.
hit one of the swings in the air and like try to get all the blood off my sword.
It just whoosh, it flies back. It covers George, the remains of George on the ground. It's just, it's quiet just for a second as the gore subsides.
I want to go
What do you
see
guys
what
do?
The thing that like rolled towards the.
It rolled
yeah.
this way, I think.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It rolled into the east passageway further
Yeah.
down.
I'd like to see what that is.
All right, roll a. Let's just do a little d6 roll. See how hard it is to find or where it may have ended up. Low's better.
2.
All right, you see that this it actually looks like a little mini crystal ball, like a little the size of a plum, has rolled and like hit what looks like a shoe in the back of this passageway. And you see you see it right there.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, you go in, you see what looks like to be maybe the other parts of that body, kind of shoved in a pile of refuse in the back of this passageway. And yeah, you see a little crystal ball. You pick it up. It's shiny. It's clear. Interesting. Roll for you again. Roll a d6 to see if this just rings a bell.
Okay.
Being the magic class that you
6.
are. 6.
Not at all.
No,
It sure is round.
you're like, oh, cool. It's a piece of glass ball. Cool. You're like, crystal balls, maybe? Nah, this isn't it. Crystal balls are way bigger than this. It's cool. Looks cool.
I'll pocket that.
Nice
Okay.
marble.
Shall
Nice
we
ball,
continue then?
Yes.
Love it when you don't get any information from things. Sometimes that's funny.
Yeah.
So there's a little passage to the north. It's kind again, it's dark. It's kind of hard to see. It seems to be a little like maybe like water's dripping from the ceiling just to the north a little bit. But it seems to be a passageway that it's hard to see the light exactly. It just doesn't quite like. There's definitely something through there. But yeah, it's in a passageway to the due sort of northeast. But back there to the south, to the northwest now that you're into this chamber, which was that original north passageway, you hear, I'm sick of this shit. But it's kind of back there to the, north passageway.
Are we
This
worried
northeast.
at all about that one?
I guess if we don't take care of it now.
Apparently, he's sick of this shit.
If we don't take care of it now, actually, it might come back to bite us later.
That's fair. Well,
And there might be something cooler than a crystal ball over there, or whatever the fuck that is.
since you have a sword that seems to cut right through them,
Okay,
lead the way.
That shit was so cool. I love one shot killing.
I was like, oh, okay. They do have different amounts of hit points because I rolled that before.
Oh,
the
nice.
game.
oh, cool. I like.
I
that.
like, I do like when some things are like a
Yeah.
little.
You always have the option, right? I mean, it has like,
some variants.
any DMGs gives you like, well, if you want to do the average real quick, take this.
Yeah.
Or you can roll it. So I rolled them.
Yeah, I guess we'll pivot then from
All right.
going that way.
Uh-huh. So back to that where that you can pick that piece
Where
of
the
paper
sound
up now.
was over
yes,
here.
exactly.
Okay.
As you approach Core, you feel like there's maybe some water dripping from the ceiling in there, but you can see back in there pretty far, and you hear, "Not that way." But it's it's beyond your view.
But wait, I thought he was sick of this shit.
So as we come around, what exactly am I seeing?
Yeah, it's basically a passageway. So again, the
Okay.
water seems to be now dripping from the ceiling as you've, thinking back on it, like, oh, we descended down from the water. Maybe this water's above us a little bit, but this passage kind of goes like under where you think that
The
like,
voice
kind
is
of
not
underground river might have been, but that voice is back in this passageway somewhere.
I guess I press on into the dark unknown
All right,
outside the light of my.
you hear
sword.
that clack, 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 clack. Roll a surprise as you're sort of running in here to this thing.
Okay, is that
Uh,
just a d6?
Yep.
Is there a surprise?
Oh no, sorry. So 1 or 2 would be surprised, but yeah, this
Oh, right, right,
ambush
right.
thing.
Minus-
so
but I have
gonna
minus
so
1.
this is sort of a reverse situation. I think you think that the same kind of thing is back there. You're taking the opposite approach of like ambushing this thing. You're going to try to rush in and surprise
Okay.
it. So I'm going to say because of that +1, if you roll a normally like for it to be surprised, it would be a 1 or 2 normally, like everybody else. But now since you're surprising it even more on a 1, 2, or 3, it's going to be surprised and you'll get like a bonus
Okay.
bonus attack this round. So 1, 2, or 3, it's surprised by you kind of running in here aggressively attacking it.
I got a 6.
6. Okay, so you summon and you see it. You go, where'd you get it? And then you see it rear up at the back of the passageway. And once more, now you're in combat. Declare
Cool.
actions. You
Cool.
can
Are we?
pop that down keg back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we? Are we close
It's
to
back.
each other?
It's
are
back
we-
like in the pack. You imagine
Okay.
that those little dots are like under the.
Okay.
That's like under the water.
Gotcha.
And am I still there or?
Yeah. I say you came around. I'll say you're 20 feet away. Like you're
Okay.
in charge range if you want to.
That-
If you want
yeah,
to do that.
that's
Okay.
what
Yeah.
I'm
that's right. For now, you're in charge range. If only you can win initiative coming up. in a
Yeah, I hope
second.
so.
Let's
We'll see.
Given how narrow this is, I don't think I can really do much. Because like shocking grasp, I would need to be touching
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna have to move to line up my shot. So this is all you.
Excellent. Should I roll the initiative?
All right,
then?
go for it. Yeah, ref's rolling a. Oh, ref rolls a 2.
3,
Oh, Core gets the jump.
and I charge.
Charge.
Alright.
So you charge it, and you'll plus 2 damage, minus 2 AC. If you hit. What'd you get?
I got a natural 20.
That's 20! What the jump. All right.
I'm so glad I switched
That was
dice.
so good.
I'm so glad I switched dice. And how
Right,
crit,
how
is,
crit
it?
is it? D6.
And higher is better on
better.
these?
Higher's better. Yeah.
4.
4 is for a fighter times 2 damage.
Okay.
So you're gonna get double dice
So
and
roll
then add
two
all the
D10s.
craziness.
Dude, D10 is the hardest for my eyeballs to recognize.
I
Can
know.
I have one of your D10s? Because you're lucky as hell. Unless you
yeah,
don't want to
dude.
share the luck. I don't want to like.
No, go for it. I am happily sharing.
He might give you some luck there with a D20.
And then the modifiers are at the end.
Modifiers at the end. So it's gonna be 2d10 plus like you still have a ton of damage here. What did you get?
Okay. Yeah, these are a little hard to read. So 12 base plus 7 is 19.
19. He looks annoyed.
You got the jump on this as well, and somehow Core the Slayer explain how you one hit kill this amazing demonic creature. Rears up, 4 claws, venomous jaw, venomous goo coming out of its mouth.
I think I am so swift, and I use the fact that it is reared up to like get a clear shot at its belly, and then kind of similar to before, I run up, jam at its belly, and I kind of like cleave like the half of it, so like it's just like blood is spilling out his like left side, as there's just like a nice clean cut on that side of his
It
stomach.
just sort of like opens up and like it splits, not the way his body normally does, and it just like splits in half, falls over. Blood is pouring out. You see a glint of that +1 dagger for a second, and then it gets covered by this black blood again. And as it falls, it says, "I'm sick of this shit."
Shit's over, my friend. And
And just this pile of goo.
I do want to
appears in the
grab that
passage.
dagger for him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
So you just grab it up with
is
your
there
with your
anything-
hand.
Yeah, is that okay?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Roll a test of dexterity to see if you how much of this goo you get on you.
This goop. Okay, 2 under 3.
Okay, that's you managed. There's a little bit of the hilt, and it wasn't in the goo, and you pick it up just in time as the goo like covers over where it might have been, and it might have got on your hands if you weren't so careful.
Yeah, if I wasn't so dexterous.
Yes.
Is there like while I'm here in this like narrow cavern, is there anything else of note, or is it just cool, pretty quartz wall, which is fine?
Well, yeah, why don't you roll a little d6? Check it out. Check things out for a second. Lower is probably better.
Oh, I got a 6.
All right, you look around and it's just goo and refuse, and again you see little. Oh, is that like a part of a leg kind of floating in the goo in the back? Is that like a? I mean, it's a little nice red vest. Just gets covered by the new goo that you had. It spreads around the chamber and starting to fill the room as it just pours out of this creature.
Okay, then I think I'll start to head back, kind of like trying to wave the goo off the dagger, and
Yep, you managed. Yeah, you make it back to them, and it's nice and quiet. And you see these stars. The light becomes unmottled as you're shaking this off, and it's like a when you swing a flashlight around, and Core the
Nice.
Slayer comes out.
I got your
No
dagger back.
Thank you. Core the Bug Smasher.
That's what they call me. I slay a lot of things.
True.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you're in this quiet chamber. The only seemingly way to go is to the northeast, perhaps.
All right.
And just the water kind of drips down from the ceiling above you.
Who knew asking to go to the market would be so OP?
Yeah.
I can't go shopping.
DMs, get your shopping list ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again,
we'll
it's
go
kind
down.
of this descends even further down before you, but
All right.
goes under the water. It's drippy.
While we have a second, I am
Yeah.
going to change out the magazine in my crossbow.
Okay, fully reload. Like it. Don't worry about that later. Great. It's actually under the water, so you can actually take up that entire piece of paper for right now. So you see a chamber. And sorry, 1 second.
Cool circle. Listeners, there's a cool circle on the map. Never mind. Listeners, shut up.
Rewind. not that big a deal, but you see a chamber.
Okay.
Which again, natural. This is back to a little of the natural carved stones, some of that black, the black onyx and quartz kind of fades out. As maybe that was that last area. Might have been the crux of where the mine was happening. But you come to this chamber and you actually see before you on the far wall this beautiful metal, like a pointed arch set of metal doors at the back of this hallway. In the middle of the door is this very large circle, like kind of like a nice, like a relief carving up a big scripted sort of like letter R, like the letter R. It's kind of carved in the center of a pretty big circle that's maybe 4 feet diameter. And below it, there doesn't seem to be any levers or latches or anything. It's a little weird. There's like no door handles, no knobs. But where those knobs would be, it seems to be like there's these little sort of like voids. It's kind of hard to describe. Like if you had a circle, there's sort of like a shape like this. It's kind of like you took a circle and then you took bites out of at the 60-degree points in the door. It's kind of like where the lever would be, but you see these strange little recessed areas. Like this is the recess in the middle.
Oh,
Seems like something's missing, or maybe you used to have a doorknob and it got busted off. Who knows? But the doors are these like very large doors with like a cool letter R in the middle. And again, you just that's at a first glance, and you walk into this chamber. That's what you see. A little scripty letter R, maybe something like that, in the middle of the door.
Okay. Well, I do have an open locks ability.
Ah, true.
Maybe I try and use my 2 daggers to move that circle one way or the other.
There we go. Sorry. Here's my doors with the cool R.
Did you just draw that right now?
No.
Okay, I was like, that was fucking fast. Like, that was really good.
Some keystones like in the masonry.
Yeah.
Scripted doors.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing there. So yeah, you go come check out this door a little bit more, Zodus.
Yeah. I would like to try and open locks.
Okay. Feel free to roll that for me.
I do not.
All right,
I
what'd
got a 9/5.
Oh, so yeah. So again, that for listeners, that's on a D12 for any of these feast
Yes.
skills. So you go up to it and you're like, okay, I'm gonna pick the lock. I'm gonna find the keyhole. There's no keyhole to pick. As you go up to it, you don't find anything. It's just this beautiful doors and these holes. And,
Can I look and see if there's any like magic, like that I can read anywhere?
Oh,
on
sure,
this door?
sure. Yeah, why don't you? Yeah, no, I'll give you a D6 roll for this.
6.
All right, definitely. Nothing seems magical at first glance, but you feel like what you do know, just knowing magical things that you are, like usually, maybe we're missing something here, and maybe something else in the chamber we need to look at. Maybe there's like a lever laying around somewhere. Yes, so you kind of feel like you're just something's missing for the doors.
I think with that, then I'll reach for that crystal ball and see if just kind of like hold it over things just to see like it's like there maybe or
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you a D6 roll. See if you can maneuver something for this. We'll try. Rolling low might be better.
3.
Okay. Interesting. So you're kind of looking through it. Actually, both why don't Core and Zodus roll some stuff as well. Here's a little D6 roll. See what happens.
6.
2 under question mark.
2 under question mark. It's rolling low. So you're looking around. You're kind of seeing this like weird magnification effect. Oh, okay. A little wood. It's interesting. There's R. You look in one of these little like holes where a lever should be, and it just seems like there's a lot of scratch marks in there. Like maybe something was inserted and taken out. But then Core, you see like a weird reflection through it based on where you're standing. And there's a weird loose stone panel on the west wall of this particular chamber. Like obviously it was maybe like carved in the stone at some point, but there's a little busted, like little niche up on the wall, maybe 4 feet off the ground. That's maybe used to have a piece of stone, but it's kind of like busted in, maybe from age. Who knows? And you see something shiny in the back of this niche.
Is it how like narrow is it? Like,
It's like a 1 foot cube of a niche.
My arms are massive.
Oh, yeah.
So like, can I reach in there?
Oh yeah, it's like a 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot
Okay.
deep section, and then a stone panel seems to have like fallen
Okay.
into it and just cracked.
Can I like? I in real life have a fear of reaching my arm into crevasses.
Listen, but does core
Well, I was trying to think like, can I just break it to make it more?
It's just like if you took like a stone panel and just pushed it into something,
Okay.
it's just cracked a little.
And there's
Like
something shiny in
the
the crack.
panel might have been like a half-inch thick piece of stone,
Okay.
like a piece of slate that just fell into the hole and cracked.
I guess like, can I just like,
Oh yeah, you can just maneuver it out.
yeah.
You see a really cool, shiny, like metallic. It's like the size of that door niche, and
Whoa.
it has the inverse shape of this. If I can draw this on the fly really quickly.
Draws better than me.
Looks like a fidget spinner.
Exactly.
kinda-
Kinda- Why didn't I ever think to describe it that way? That's exactly what this looks like.
3 prongs, listener. 3-pronged
Three-pronged fidget spinner.
The default, the classic.
Uh,
Because now they have
the
like a
OG.
fuck ton.
the OG spinner. And again, there's a little scripty letter R on the middle of this also.
I know what to do with this, and I'm gonna.
It is surprisingly heavy.
Oh,
It is much more dense metal, and you're not actually sure what kind of metal it is, but it's very rubbed and like obviously worn. It's almost like a weird, like bluish black sort of metal. It's really strange feeling to you. It's very heavy. It's much heavier than you thought it was going to be.
dang!
And you kind of brandish that to the group.
Look what I found.
Well, most locks have keys. Let's try this one.
And I would just move over to the original,
Yep.
to the opposite shape, right? And I put
Yep.
the fidget spinner in the fidget spinner hole.
Yeah, it almost like as you even just move to do it, as soon as you get within like maybe 3 inches, it just sucks out of your hand and you go thunk, and it slaps in there. And then all of a sudden, these purple lights kind of glow around the edges of the fidget spinner. And the door also illuminates. The center line kind of starts from the bottom and radiates out along the bottom edge of the door, goes up to the top, comes down the middle, and then the R sort of scripty purple R finishes. And the doors come out towards you, and this awful waft of dust and like scraping metal on stone, as this obviously hasn't been operated in a very long time. And you see before you a very small chamber with a manhole, like a 5x5 little chamber, a manhole on the floor. Yes, you can move that now.
Listeners, there's a cool circle on the map.
With a scripty letter R on it. It seems just has like a little rung that you could maybe like pull it up if you were strong enough.
Strong, you say? I guess I'll go in and try to, pull.
Yep.
Looks like a pull door.
Yeah, it's just like this is just going to be a test of strength to see if you can pull up the rung of this manhole cover.
3 under 5.
You just go "Huh!" and just chuck it, and it like you like pick it up. The manhole like flies off of the little rung as you are now just holding the little rung in your hand. Is it again obviously old,
Mm-hmm.
but it came off in.
I dodge the manhole cover as it like
Yeah, I
flies by
swing
my
it.
face.
Roll the dodge. No, just kidding. That's fine. And you see before you a ladder that descends down into darkness at this manhole.
Well,
I'm not jumping, and I take the
You
ladder down.
It's,
not
it's
gonna jump.
26 feet down. Sorry.
Ooh.
I'm just
I
kidding.
can only leap 25.
I know.
Um,
No, I mean, it's the light of your torch or the lantern, if you happen to come over, kind of just hits. You see, it looks like a stone floor down below, about at that 30-foot limit.
Okay. I have a torch.
mm.
I would like to light my torch and
Yeah.
drop it down there.
It falls down. Roll a d6. On a 1, it doesn't. On a 1, it snuffs out, but
Okay.
everything else is fine.
It's a 1.
Yippee.
It goes
Because
out.
you hear like a little, and then it just the wind and a little too far of a fall.
Oh,
You could-
watch out for water down there, guys.
You could try it. You could try your dagger again. I'm sure that won't snuff out. Probably.
I'm a little worried about losing my gear, but it's a +1. I throw it down.
Dink dink. It hits the nice stone floor and remains alight.
Okay. 10-foot circle.
Yep.
Is there anything within?
It's
that
hard to see
circle?
because you're up like a 5-foot diameter shaft, goes down
Mhm.
30 feet. You know, it seems
Yeah.
to go out, but you can't see what else is down there.
Okay.
At least immediately where I landed, it just looks like stone floor.
Looks like a stone floor. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Like
okay.
just like similar to what you're
Yeah,
on.
safe enough down there.
Good enough for me. And I climb down first.
Okay.
I follow behind.
All right. You guys get to a different chamber. So
Ooh.
this ladder coming down.
So colorful.
Listeners, there's another really cool map.
It's purple.
It's purple.
Speaking of purple, as you descend in the course, since you went down first, you touch the floor. As soon as your like boot hits the floor, you almost like maybe you're bending down to look at the dagger or something. Additional, this purple glow. You hear this gurgle. Right in there's a circular fountain. This chamber that you're in the southeast corner of this chamber. The chamber is like 60 feet wide, 80 feet long, north-south. Roughly the middle of the chamber is this fountain that starts gurgling this purple liquid that starts to smoke out. And it's a little purple white smoke comes out of it. And the purple liquid flows out of the fountain, fills these little rivulets around this chamber. And you get this fully lit purple, ultraviolet like light that's kind of in here. Another
Ooh,
15-foot tall chamber or so as you hit the floor, and you all kind of descend down as this light's filling up the chamber. As you all gradually get down to the base, the final purple goes up to the top, where there's sort of like an altar or a dais or something.
Okay. I would like to try and see. Does manipulate traps work like detecting traps? Or is that a separate?
It does, but you might
Skill.
want to wait on that for just one more second.
Oh, okay. All
Because what catches your eye actually at the back of the chamber, as the purple light gradually moves to the north, is a very large, nicely looking chest, kind of on the northwest corner.
right. Okay.
But then this altar appears, and all of a sudden you see these weird like a mesh of this purple liquid starts to flow into these like tubes that is like weirdly holding something in place, like on the altar.
No.
Oh, what
no.
Listeners, we're gonna die.
And
That many is so
on the altar,
Oh, we're in his teeth. Maybe.
what's that?
We're in the teeth.
I hope
the
we're not
teeth
in
of-
his teeth.
Thaumaturga.
Yeah.
But you approach this. There's a creature that is horned and almost has like a goat like head, and it has these massive like lobster like humongous claws, and it has these other clawed hands that like come out of where its pecs would be.
Jeez.
But it's stuck in this weird like seated position, like crunched up on this altar, and all these like purple tubes are like swirling like out of the wall, like around its body. And as the purple liquid goes over there and the light sort of fills the chamber, this very large demonic creature greets you. You hear the sizzle and then the smell of like something searing flesh. Friends, welcome to my humble abode. It's so good to see you. It's been so long. Welcome. And just like any movement, it seems, these like purple tubes just like sizzle, and it's yes. This very large creature seems to be held in place by some sort of acidic purple liquids. Who knows? Something very strange.
Who are you?
Oh, it does not matter who I am. I'm just so glad you've come here, and this. He just kind of looks around. Beautiful day, isn't it?
Yes, quite.
You must have come to release me. Is that it? Clearly, so he looks directly at you. Yes, you. Yes, I can do something for you, I think, yes.
Just kind of like looking at nails. And
Yes.
what would that be?
I think it's, what is it, a ring you want, perhaps? Yes, that is what you desire, is it not?
Well, my
For
husband is going
him,
to be.
yes. He like looks at did Gerald come down?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at the thing carrying the shield and he's, yes. You two have quite the history, don't you? Would you like? I'm sure you would like to go back to days of your youth, perhaps.
Oh. You misunderstand. Gerald's fixed now. He listens now.
He looks at Gerald. He's, oh, you two have developed quite the relationship over the years, it seems. And you, Atlantean, it's.
Yes.
What does it you desire? He kind of waves some of these like weird lobster claw things. Power, fame, fortunes.
Well, yes, all three.
Yes. I'm sure we can work up some sort of deal. Barbarian.
Core.
Well met, Core. What is it, the Slayer they call you? That seems fitting.
It
There's-
is.
You have much fame and fortune ahead of you as well, but that probably doesn't quite do it for you, does it?
The fame, the treasure, it's wonderful, but really I just love the adventure.
We can certainly arrange for more of that. What say you all? A small deal to be had? I'm sure you're here for something. He sort of like reaches up his hand to maybe point to the chest, and he says, yes, I know why you're here. Listen, I can tell you how to get what you desire safely. If you just agree to, listen, I have no qualms with any of you. I don't know how you've been here, how you got here. It doesn't matter. Or perhaps we can make a deal to support my release from these binds. He just looks around and so I can enact the revenge I seek on those who put me here in the first place. Nothing to do with any of you. You will be rewarded for your assistance. Yes. What say you all?
1 second, and I like turn to the group.
We
I hit one of them.
Gerald, come.
Talk amongst
Gerald's in the
yourselves. Take as long as you like. I'll be right here.
I'm gonna be real. It's a hard no from me. I barely tolerate this necromancer. That's a whole demon.
He has no reason to lie to us, though.
Sure. But he also has no reason to be honest with us.
That's a good point.
Like, I'm a big dude. That guy's fucking huge. And he's very, like, whoever bound him here probably had a good reason to do so. I've never seen magic like that. And I point to, like, him, like getting burnt in my life. And I've been everywhere.
See, I will have to agree with Core here. You see, I like these imposing figures, and then looks over to Gerald. Under my thumb.
Gerald just like shrugs. Clack, clack, clack. Here's some bones creaking.
Imposingly.
Well, I will not turn against the group, as we have been.
We are taking
Traveling
the chest,
for a
though,
while.
right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I'm sure
definitely.
the Staff of Withering is in that chest.
All right.
What did you say, staff? Oh, of course it's in the chest. Of
I'm-
course. Everyone who comes here looks for the staff. It's. You'll never be able to get it, though. I'm so sorry. Those who before you have perished. It's such a shame. If only you knew how to safely get in the chest.
We will try our luck, it seems. And I will go up and examine the chest.
Oh, I wouldn't touch that if I were you. roll a what do you want? What do you want to do? So just visually, you see
Yes.
this like weird red like handprint thing on the top.
Okay.
But maybe it's
okay.
got an extra finger. It's a little confusing. It's like 6 fingers. There's like some sort of red, like colored, like a recessed place. Like maybe you could put your hand, maybe.
Okay.
But it's like it seems to be like a wooden. It's a big looking chest. It's
Yeah.
big.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Well-
a 6 foot long by 2 foot tall. Nice. You know, it has the typical kind of barrel. You know, like a
Okay.
chest. But it's like it's 6 feet long.
You don't think Core could lift it?
I don't know.
It's like hard because it's like not because it's super
It's just
heavy, but it's
big.
just
It's
long.
big.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
It's like moving a mattress. Up
Yeah.
some
Yeah, I know,
stairs.
exactly.
Yeah.
A box spring always gets in the way.
Yeah.
Well, it seems there's the handprint there. I snap a finger off of Gerald. Here.
Oh, thank you.
Gerald starts to like look at his hand.
Oh, you're fine.
Gerald looks at the demon and just kind of turns his head slightly.
I would like to manipulate traps.
Okay,
and
so sorry. So
check
you
this
walk over with
box.
this finger. You just start to walk over with the finger. What are you? And you're gonna like, what's going on here specifically?
I'm going to check it first
Okay.
for traps
Okay.
before I use the finger. But
Okay.
when I go to open the lock next, I
Mhm,
think I'll
mhm.
use the finger.
Okay, well, so yeah, let's just examine. We'll examine the chest
Examine
for
the
traps.
chest.
Little thief skill, manipulate traps here.
A 2
Oh,
under 5.
Oh, you walk up to it. You realize there's no like keyhole either. There's like seemingly no lock on this. It just
Okay.
has a metal bands around the edges of the chest. The wood is strangely preserved. This kind of
Okay.
catches you off guard. The red, looks like a place. You're like, oh, maybe. Wait, maybe if I like align my 2 hands and 4 fingers like this, it looks like 6 fingers. Maybe if I do that with maybe it would do something. And then you see like a small pile of dust on the floor, like right in front of the chest. As you're like, oh wait, and you look down at your feet, and it looks like there's like a pile of like ashes or dust or something. That's maybe a little thicker than the rest of the dust in this room. Just catches you off.
Okay.
You make a note of that.
I'm going to take Gerald's finger. I'm going to
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh, well, you aren't me, and I'm gonna drop the finger in the middle of the handprint.
Clack, clack, clack. It just kind of just gives a little curvature. It slides to like where the palms would be, but nothing seems to happen. Oh, you idiots! You'll never get in that way. You have to fully commit. Submit to the death. You'll lose your body and end up like the ashes before you. Of the party before you. Go ahead. Die. The deal still stands. He tries to move these clawed hands once more. What say you, Gerald? The skeleton kind of like looks at him and just starts to slowly walk over toward the demon.
Gerald? Gerald?
Looks at you, looks at the demon. Looks at you, looks at the demon. Yes, Gerald. The deal stands for you as well. Gerald starts to walk toward the demon.
Can I charge Gerald?
Yeah. He's exactly 21 feet away from you. Right now. Wait for it. Go. All right, yeah, go ahead. Roll to hit Gerald.
10. Do I still have the heroic?
This has only been like 2 minutes later, 5 minutes later.
So a total of 17.
You hit Gerald.
For how much
I
damage?
don't know.
Oh,
Um,
enough.
Yeah, 9 on the die.
You just explode Gerald.
All right, and I turned back to Heketa or Hekate? Heketa?
Heketa.
I wasn't gonna die because of your skeleton. You understand.
Oh, no. Gerald needed to be put back in line.
Glad I could help.
While they're doing this, I am going to examine the fountain a little bit more.
I kind of want to look around the altar.
Okay.
So we'll split up.
We'll
Okay.
split.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
So
fountain looks, this bubbling purple liquid is just pouring out of the fountain.
okay.
It steams a little bit. The stone where it kind of comes out is like rounded, like where
Okay.
it's flowing out of the fountain. It's just
Um,
hard to see. It's very thick consistency liquid.
I'm gonna take my +1 dagger
Mm.
and sort of feel around in the water, see if there is anything in there.
Okay, so as you kind of stick your dagger in, you're like, okay, first, second. We haven't had to do this yet in this game, but there's something called item savings throws.
Oh, okay.
So there's different classes of things based on what you're doing. So if there's like a crushing, like if you drop a vial and a crushing blow, or in this case, an acidic liquid, you're going to have to roll a d20 equal to or higher than this number to save. It's almost like a savings throw for you, which you actually, since you didn't get bit by anything, no spoilers, you didn't have to make any savings throws in that particular part of the game. But this will be equal to this number or higher on a d20.
Okay.
But magical weapons get some bonuses because they're plus one. It's a little bit more resilient than a standard something. So this is hard metal, and it's an acidic effect. So normally, just for behind the screen, there's a little chart.
Yeah.
So this would be normally a 7 or higher. So it's not that big a deal for metal to go into acid, but starts to sizzle. So for the plus one, I'm going to say it's a 6 or higher because it's a plus 1 dagger.
Okay.
If you roll a less than a 6, it may start to disintegrate.
All right. Here we go. A 5.
A 5. Oh, if only it was a plus 2.
No.
You go dip, dip, dip. Okay, whatever. And then you literally take your thing out, and it sizzles like where the blade meets the pommel, and it just the tip of your dagger just goes blink, starts to bubble, and you lose the half of your plus 1 dagger.
Well,
Now it's
I'm just going to throw the rest of it into the middle of the fountain. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yes, you won't find anything there, I'm afraid, but I wouldn't recommend touching that if I were you. Sizzles a little more, and you're just smelling more of this like flesh in the chamber as this liquid continues to damage the demon.
Is there anything like?
You could just make a deal, and I'll tell you how to get into the chest. It's not that hard.
Cool around the altar.
Barbarian.
So rude.
Roll a d6. Check it out.
I got eyeballs. Watch this. 4.
It is so plain. It's shocking. It's just this it's like perfect stone. And again, but these like purple tubes like go into the wall behind this creature and into some unseen location. You're not sure what the tubes are, but you see like everyone saw a little bubble like come through. You have no idea what sort of material these like tubes, these things, the binds holding the demon in place are.
If I wanted to free you, Mr. Demon, sir, how would I go about doing that?
It's all or nothing. Make the deal. What do you want, Core? More gold than you could possibly imagine. Strongholds. Amazon women. What is it you truly desire? A castle.
Amazon women.
A fortress. A ship. A city in your name.
Or the
What
Slayer
is
of
it
the city.
you desire? Core the Slayer, the suburb.
Oh no.
Say it and it is yours. And you can have the city staff.
I just feel kind of stubborn. Like I feel like if I take this deal, I lose.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need the help of whatever this thing is. Surely.
Zodis, and you're like, huh? Try to put my hands in there, I guess. Kind of have that little thought. Just maybe the bone didn't work. Maybe it has to be flesh. But who knows?
Maybe.
It's
You
so
said the
simple.
tubes go back behind him.
They're like into the stone wall of the chamber.
Into the
It's
stone.
This particular chamber is such pristine cut stonework like you've also never seen before. The more you've been in here and kind of talking for a few minutes, it is like this immaculate stone.
Okay.
That it's shocking that a human or a humanoid or even a Hyperborean might have even carved this.
Can I try and detect secret doors inside
Sure.
of here?
Mm-hmm. I'll let you roll this one.
A 2 under 3.
Oh. I mean, the chest, there's no lock on the chest. You could probably just open it.
There's no lock on the chest.
No. There's just there's just like red sigil, maybe you could like put your hands into it on top. Maybe. But you don't really see any other. Again, the stone is so tightly fit. There's no mortar. It's just all like beautiful stonework on the floor and the ceilings and the walls. And this purple, now knowingly acidic liquid floods the chamber.
Well, I didn't get this far with most of my fingers intact to not use them. And so,
No, this is your last chance. Make a deal.
I
Make the deal, you'll surely perish. You hear like a click,
push. Yeah.
and nothing else happens. No! Sure, if you open it, you will surely perish in the same disintegration effect that happened prior.
I open it.
Nothing happens, and you see inside a beautiful velvet-lined chest and a little staff on the bottom. No! No, get out! This is mine! You must make a deal! I will tell you how to get out of this chamber safely! No! 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 And he starts to try to move out of these binds and just... No! No! He's trying to get out, searing flesh.
Oh,
Well,
he's just a liar.
my favorite magic user, will you please take the staff and we can be on out of here?
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, it feels
No.
nice. It's nice. It's a little like kind of jaggedy, but it's smooth. It's kind of nicely carved, and it just seems like a 5.5 foot long.
Are
nice
there any
carvy
teeth
stick.
marks?
I was gonna say, don't.
No teeth
it.
marks.
I want the full
no
But
reward.
teeth marks.
Don't you wonder?
I
how
don't.
it works?
And you just hear this screaming from the demon. No! These clawed hands are trying to reach you, but they just can't break out of these binds. And the smoke of this flesh and this stuff starts to fill the chamber as he's like burning away his flesh, trying to get out of these binds.
I
No!
There was something else in there too. Parchment.
What's that?
There was something else in there too, right? Or
No, it's just a
the
velvet-lined chest, like a
velvet
black,
lined
nice velvet.
Mm.
But there's nothing else in this chest besides the staff.
I think we should leave.
yeah, I second that. And then
make sure
leave.
we grab Gerald.
And you,
Jesus Christ.
and the whole room starts to shake as he's like pulling, no,
Yeah.
just trying all his might to get out of here.
Yeah, I have
I
a
was-
sack. I'm gonna
yeah.
quickly try and
The
get him in.
smoke fills, the purple blends with this like, now you see like blood filling, like steaming in the air as you climb the ladder to the chamber, and you get to that top where that manhole is. You see the manhole, no, and just is starting to fill the chamber.
Oh, I think we should close this manhole.
No, no. Thunk. Silence. And this water just starts to, you hear that water back from before, and you make your way out to the, you just kind of climb up, you hop over the minecart railings, you get back to the pier. You have Heketa, you're holding the staff. It feels powerful. And you see the Amazons like hanging out on the edge of the boat. Oh, what? Hey, guys! The little lifeboat pops out. Bridget, run quickly! You guys did it! You guys did it! Hey, Core, I love you. Core, hey! And she's like rushing to you, and you get back on this boat, and you've received the Staff of Withering. And that's where we're gonna end the adventure.
All
right. That
That shit
fucking
was
guy.
crazy.
Oh
was so
boy,
cool.
that was so stressful.
I'm gonna steal something like that.
Yeah.
That was so like I was like, because for a second I was like, fuck it, like maybe we should do it.
Yeah, we
And
just
then-
make
and
the
then-
deal.
Yeah, no, not
on
that.
outta
I meant
here.
the chest. I was like, if
Yeah.
because you went first, but
Yeah.
if you took like 20 seconds longer, I was gonna have Core give you a sword and be like, if I die, tell the Amazons I went really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But then you're like, fucking
Core-
me ball. And I
Core
was
the
like,
Slade.
thank God. Or the Slayer killed by a chest.
So, old disintegration trap that went off. Ashes on the ground.
Oh,
Oh,
already-
yeah, it was already
sense.
It
spent.
was already spent.
That makes
So-
sense.
That tracks.
That's why there
awesome.
was the hand mark? No.
But there were two bodies up above. The third one might
Was
have gotten
down
down here.
Maybe, perhaps,
Maybe.
perhaps,
Alright.
perhaps. yeah.
Mayhaps.
So yeah,
Um,
That was
There you
really
go.
fucking fun.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome.
This is a great
you.
It
game.
was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, let's jump into our thoughts.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, and by the way, no issues here. I'm impartial. Yeah, it's fun system. Like I said, nostalgic. To me, it's old school kind of rules. Descending
Yeah.
armor class. It's got some
Yeah.
interesting
re-
stuff there, but little different. Little
Mhm.
different than some current rule sets for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
And I
do-
like most of the
the differences.
I
I was gonna say when I first initially like started flipping through the
Mhm.
PDF because we have the PDF
Yeah,
version,
yeah.
and then like looking at the character sheet, I was a little like, I don't know, man, like this it looks a little weird, like because it is different, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, this looks a little weird. I'm worried that worried that things might be like a little clunky or like really hard to understand. And maybe part of it is because you explained everything so well, like that might be part of it, but like I didn't feel that way at all. Like I was like 3/2, what does that mean? And then you were like, it means this, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
easy enough. Yeah.
and like the armor class going down is like at first I was like, that's gonna be weird, and then I rolled to hit and I was like, no, this makes sense. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I do think like coming in you might be like a little intimidated, but once you
Yes.
play the game, you're like, oh no, yeah, this all makes sense.
Yeah, I would say about like almost exactly the same thing. But it was the character sheet itself that was intimidating to me. Looking at
mhm,
the strength with the attack modifier and the damage adjustment and the test of strength
Mhm.
and the feat of strength. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
ain't
rolling.
no way.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but that is the GM's job is
Mhm.
to tell you what you're rolling.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
And I do like that there's a difference between like a normal test of strength and an extreme feat of strength. Like
Yeah.
that, it feels cool.
yeah, I like the differences there.
Mhm.
And I do think that like that makes it easier for a GM as well.
Mhm.
I would assume at least is like having the just test of strength versus the feat of strength, like makes it feel, at least to me, like you can tell your players yes a lot more.
Mhm.
Of like, yeah, there's no actual realistic feasible way that you could lift the room and throw it at the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe you can 2%. You
Yeah,
know,
2%
something.
chance
You
through
know,
the room.
maybe.
Pick the demon up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also really one of my favorite things about the PDF though was like, it was funny because at first when I opened it up I was like this. It was like the PDF is 333 pages.
Yeah,
so I was like,
books,
this is
yeah.
huge. And then a lot of it was the class information. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I went through the classes and I was like, I do really like the classes. Like,
Me too.
They truly did feel different. Like, cause like I feel like in a lot of games you have like pretty similar classes, but in these ones, like they felt different enough. Like you saw the familiar ones, right? You saw like the assassin and like stuff like that.
Get you into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But then you had like the purloiner and the
Purloin.
leisure master?
Legerdemainus.
Legerdemainus,
It's a
and then, like,
mage thief kind of combo.
They had
yeah.
like a
I'm sorry,
even
I'm
the-
sorry. Legerdemainus. Yeah, mage thief
Yeah.
combo.
And then they had like even mages, like I know when you like in other games like 5e to use like that as an example, you can like kind of spec into what you want to do, but like seeing a dedicated cryomancer and a dedicated illusionist I thought was really cool.
Mhm.
And also like kind of seeing them all under like the one umbrella. So like the fighter had like 5-ish subclasses and
yeah.
they all kind of went that way. Like I really liked how the classes were broken down in this.
I totally agree. I focused mostly on the thief set of classes, and each one felt very distinct and different. And I like that Bard is underneath Thief.
Mhm.
Thief. Yeah.
Yeah,
a
it's
little
the
mix.
subclass
Uh-huh.
of Thief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the subclasses are just wonderful
Mhm.
inside of this because looking at it from a distance, I was like, oh, this feels kind of like D&D, kind of like Pathfinder. I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot of like individuality to it,
Mhm.
but this game definitely has its own flavor,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like all the tables. There's a shitload
There's a
of tables.
ton
of
There's so many
tables.
tables.
Yeah, this ref manual is crazy. Yeah, it's back to our AD&D DMG. If you guys have that, it's just like tables for tons.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff.
So many tables.
And I like it because it was, I mean, at least in my perception, it was pretty easy to roll up like items for that shop that
Mhm.
we
Oh yeah,
spawned in.
pretty quick. I mean, pretty quick. I could have been a little quicker flipping the page, but yeah.
No,
it's,
yeah, that was
it's
really
not
fast.
bad.
And
Yeah.
it was like
Mhm.
I also really like, and like this is probably extra prevalent because you are a DM, but like the world just seems really cool. Like I really like that. Like there are a bunch of differences that makes it just feel unique. Like North is always the center city.
Yeah.
The two moons, the bloated sun that you can see on his cool DM screen.
Yeah.
It's just it really did feel like a unique, different fantasy world. And it continued to feel that way, and I thought that was really cool. It's dude, the boat was sick. when the pedestal came up, dude, I was like, what the hell? Like, this is sick.
Yeah, is that in the book, or is that something that you?
Nope.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
there's like I think the game has some interesting like little hints of weird like technology. Again,
Yeah.
stuff ends up in Hyperborea. Like
Mhm.
Eric the Red came here. Maybe like the Bermuda Triangle leads here. There's just these sort of hints of that thing in the mythos of out of place and time things. Maybe there's a World War II fighter plane that just lands and crashes. That may be extreme, but like
But
Yeah.
that's it.
there's
yeah.
you have the sort of flexibility and just how the genre and the stories that inspired it are written to kind of add little hints of tech. Now there are like Amazon skyships, kind of rumored old technology,
Oh,
but I was
cool.
like, I'm gonna make a little I'll do a little riff on that, and maybe there's some in some of the modules. I'm not gonna spoil it too much. If you listen to our show, you'll find more about green diamonds. But there's some
okay.
green diamonds that are harvested in this area called the Diamond Desert on the land that have been found over time, and it's kind of hinted that they provide like fuel and like power source to some other antiquated technology. So I like the
Ooh.
green. So the green sphere, Amazon's been using these green diamonds for a while, and some of the
Yeah.
other modules that you can get, or the lore, some of the lore that's like spread throughout the, all the little. There's tons of these modules, these pre-made adventures that have little hints of lore and expand the story over time, expand the world setting over time. So I really like the green diamond as like a power source, and
Yeah.
like that kind of prompted this thing of let's not do a sky ship. That's way too OP. We're not doing that right now. But let's do like, okay, let's make this a little faster to get to the teeth.
Yeah.
And how can we deal with that? And if these, and I created sort of like a steersman culture of these Amazon steersmen who can do this type of ship versus the sky ship, versus maybe they have other maybe they can sense like what's actually in the water. So this as the boat kind of veers, they kind of like are the boat, and they can move it and sense the kraken that they might avoid that whirlpool that happens if you're wandering out in the river Oceanos too much, so it gives you a
Cool.
little of that fluff in the background that you put it together. It's a lot of stuff you make up. That's kind of what the system allows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be like if I'm a DM, I have the group of D&D players. I think it might be a tough sell because like I think a lot of players look at other character sheets and get kind of intimidated. But like I would be super excited to try to play this. Like this is the first time, like of a lot of the games we played, this is like top three, probably top two favorite settings. Like I really like
Yes.
where this is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like
Totally
it's
agree.
really really cool. It's sick. Like the setting's super cool.
Yeah.
That's what drew me so hardcore.
Yeah.
I love the setting.
And it's fun because you can do just about anything in it with, the World War II fighter jet crashing and Cthulhu out in the background somewhere. And
maybe he lives in Dagon Bay underneath it where the Eskimo tribe lives.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
Dagon Bay, and some of these things
Yep.
that little hints of these stories in the setting.
yeah, well,
Awesome.
we had some of those show up in our Call of Cthulhu campaign.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, the setting's really cool. The religion, I was reading about the religion too, which also fits in the setting. The setting I
Yes.
think is just so solidly built, and like maybe that's because like part of that might be in part because they're on their third edition, but like the setting's so cool. Like I like it a lot.
yeah, and I think the rules are just as solid because I have never had a book or like a rule set split potions before.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah,
I've
I thought
always
was
felt
pretty
that they
sweet.
should.
Yeah,
thought that was
because
pretty sweet.
there have been so many times in Pathfinder when I'm like, oh man, I don't want to drink this 3d8 potion
When
to
I'm only
fix
short, like,
6 or 7
yeah.
hit points.
But you might need it because that.
But you want to be full health, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like that rule.
Also, like, are the XP breakpoints different for each class?
They
I
are.
saw that.
They
Yeah,
are,
that,
yeah.
that was
So-
interesting. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because different, like again, harkening back to old school D&D, that's how it was. Like a paladin is like a super powerful class that Hyperborea has allowed a lot of different ability score rolling methods. Advancing from what's kind of in the original D&D, right? So it was really hard to be a paladin, like because you had to roll like a 15 charisma and a 12 strength or something. It was hard to do that on 3d6 straight down.
Yeah.
Real hard. So this just gives you a little flexibility. Like Damien, I think you used that. Actually, that 6 method that you rolled is brand new to 3rd edition. That didn't exist before. And again, that was one of the the comments in the community. There's a great this board host Hyperborea has. Jeff, again, the creator, is very active on the Discord, the Northern Adventures Discord all
Cool.
the time. He's
Yeah.
chatting. I mean, I have a good line. We're doing some stuff.
I love
doing
that.
stuff
That's
with him.
awesome.
He's just an awesome guy to hang out with. And he's like, oh, that's a cool idea. He's
Okay.
riffing on stuff. And he's been like adapting the game to his player base over the last 10 years. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also noticed that for most of the classes, they had a section for lordship.
Oh, yeah. At 9th level. Yeah.
Where you're starting to like have some serious power. I do, because like with Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, you have like characters ascending up these levels, but they don't really like. Sure, they are like the number one swordsman in all of Galarian,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they don't have much to show for it. Really.
sure.
So actually,
Yeah.
the new edition of D&D does have some
Oh yeah, they have bastions.
bastions.
That's cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then you can get people that work in. Sorry, I totally cut you off. But
No, you're.
I got excited because I remembered what you
We
were talking
probably
about.
watched the
The
same
same Ginny D
video.
video.
Yeah.
I have those books sitting on my table. I have not had a chance to crack them yet.
Yeah.
No, I haven't sitting around.
So that is something that's coming to 5th edition, which I think is something that has been lacking for a long time. It's cool that people have done it before and done it well, I'm guessing, since we didn't get into those rules. How are those rules? Have you used
The
them?
stronghold stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. We had a we were doing one campaign where one of our players wanted to GM, and he's like, "I'm going to start at 9th level, and we're gonna go backwards. I've never done this before.
Oh, okay.
He's also never DM'd before, but it was really fun and like a different. Like we started with a stronghold, got taken, and had to like re-get it back. But it was sort of like we're aging out. Like we started at like 60, 70 years old, and we actually were like getting negative XP. Interesting as a concept, really
Cool.
just a totally different thing.
Yeah.
But I think the stronghold again harkens back to like AD&D, where that was one of the goals. You always got the stronghold because again, you're not getting to 20th level. This game kind of caps at 12th level.
Okay.
But it still takes a long. If you're doing XP, it takes a long time to get there. It kind of exponential curve to get to some of these levels. So yeah, we've messed with it from the top end. We've started like trying different things. I haven't had honestly a campaign like go from like 1st to 9th yet.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, it, because it's
I
same
mean, that's
thing.
rare
Everybody's fine
anywhere,
with
right?
exactly. Like
Yeah.
unless you're doing like a tiered every adventure, go up a level or
Yep.
something. Some of the other systems allow. But everything's been pretty smooth. It does feel really cool to get that extra class ability. Get to like an extra weapon proficiency at 4th. This built into the character sheets. You get like an extra, like later, like you might get some turn undead. There's like different
Yes.
things that eventually you get to in these different mixed classes that feels pretty cool to get there. That's still something to look forward to. You're not getting a feat every level. You're not getting some archetype thing that you're planning for, but like the weapon thing, you can almost like adapt to what you find. You roll this like armor, or maybe you roll a weird weapon that you can't use, but then you kind of work with it for a level, and then you get this extra weapon proficiency, and now you're a mage. You can use a two-handed sword. Extreme example, but
Scythe
you
mage,
could
yeah.
like,
Cool.
there's ways to kind of let you do stuff like that.
Yeah, we play games and like off mic, obviously, because we're gamers. This is something I'm gonna try to get people to play with me. Like I would love to have like a side campaign of this game. Like I like this game a lot.
Nice, yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely lends to campaigns.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
because there is a bit of a learning curve coming into this. I feel like if I feel like you could run it at a convention, but you would need a GM that's very good at what they're doing. And I think as like a group of new players coming at it, there'd have to be someone that is the rules lawyer that has gone through 90% of the book.
Yeah, so I brought some of these things too. These again are these like module packets that Northwood Adventures produces.
Cool.
So like this Rats in the Walls, Another Peril. This particular module is actually like 4 mini adventures. So
Okay.
what you can do is you can kind of ramp up, there's like a 3 or 4 page adventure, and they're kind of set up like from a GM. There's a little information, little rumor table, and there's a couple maps or something, in here. Maybe there's a map of a ship in the back or something.
Nice.
Like they're giving you all these
Dang.
kind of old school D&D style black and white maps, or some are colored. A little random player handout. If you want to give some stuff. So these modules are pretty sweet as like a quick, instead of locking into a campaign, hey, we'll just do a little module or do a little. It gives you the fluff. It has all the monster stats right here too. So you don't. I mean, you want to have the ref manual too, but
Yeah,
like,
of course. Yeah.
treasure tables and stuff or something. But all the stats are in here. They're like organized pretty well.
Okay.
As for like just if you're thinking about doing an intro game at some point, someone
Yeah, that
else,
would be cool.
they're pretty cool. Like it's a story. It gives a little bit about like a little area in the world or something. But some of the bigger ones have come out are like this Isles of I think this is one of my favorite new ones. It's the Vanishing Isles of the Summer King. So the Isles of Maze Did are another one of these little island groupings out in the middle of the sea. But this is like a ton of extra lore and like options and like a bunch of adventures and like use it as a home base and do these other things. And they took a couple in the newest Kickstarter. Northern Adventures usually kickstarts their stuff, but
Okay.
phenomenal. I mean, like only missed a deadline once during COVID, I think, because he had a shipping delay.
Wow.
Great products. He's already got it like 90% there before he even goes to the Kickstarter to release it. So it's been a great company. I mean, they're just, they're doing awesome stuff. But yeah, like you can get a little more like world lore if you want it, or you
Yeah.
could, do some little adventures and some of these things. But I love the feel of these covers. I can't get enough of these covers. It's like a weird feel. I don't know. I think it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah, I think I've said this several times already too, but the art in these books are so cool. So yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love the old school like
Mhm.
Conan feeling
Mhm.
yeah,
art.
yeah, it's big in the big into Robert Howard.
Yes.
If I were to steal, and do we? I feel like it's been a gagillion years. Did we talk about what to steal first, or do we talk about what we didn't like
What
first?
to steal is at the end.
Okay,
Yeah, we talk about
we praise it. We talk about things we didn't like, and then we suggest something to steal. I'm gonna let somebody else go first because I
Um,
struggle to think.
One of the things that I did not like is it is interesting to have like all of these different methods and different like ways to use dice. I do think that like we don't get the chance to use D12 as often as we
Yeah.
I
should.
know.
I agree.
Yeah.
10 hit
Uh,
points. Yeah.
But switching between rolling wanting lows and wanting highs can get a little bit confusing because I was kind of getting a little bit lost there
mhm.
for like what each one does. Like conceptually, it makes sense why you would want to do it certain ways, but I don't know. It's a little funky, a little hard to keep track of. Hard, like it's not impossible by any means, but it's just harder than
Then if it wasn't the
if it
case,
wasn't.
if
Yeah.
it was
yeah,
one
yeah.
or the other.
Yeah, there's been
different mechanics.
I think one, maybe two other games we played at this point that switch like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think of that, but I do agree. Like I can see why one would get mixed up with like I usually roll lower, but sometimes I want to roll higher.
Yeah. Usually attack. Yeah. Attack's high, but
Yeah, my only complaint with this book, I think, is the level of complexity, because it kind of assumes that you've played a game like this before. I feel like this would be really hard for a
For
beginner.
like your first game.
I've never played a TTRPG, and they're like, "Well, roll the percentile dice, roll the
Mm.
D12," and you're trying to figure out which one that
Yeah.
is. I feel like it could be really overwhelming for a new player, but for people who have played for a while, I think it's a great fit.
And
Yeah.
then you were mentioning about the methods as well, like the dice rolling methods.
for the character generation.
Oh yeah, I just
Yeah.
For
Oh,
me,
yeah.
I was like when I was looking at them, I just felt like 6 was a lot of ways to generate stats. I appreciated the select your class first one. I think that one's very prevalent, like because like it would suck to roll your stats and be locked out of like some of the classes you were looking forward
If I
to.
was locked out of Necromancer, I would have screwed.
I know.
I did for me like because there's 6 options, listeners, and like for me a lot of them felt similar enough that I felt like 3-ish could have been for like, and I'm not a game designer, right? But I feel like
Yeah.
you have one where you roll straight through, you have one where you roll 3 and take the best ones, like because it was like 3d6 and you do that
Yeah,
a
you
few
can
times,
freeze 3 sets of stats.
Yeah.
Take that. Yeah, that was a new one for us, but we've
and then
used that one a lot.
the class one. Like I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. For me, I guess I got like the Baskin Robbins effect of like I have so many. A lot of them are very slightly different, and I've never played this game before, so I don't know which one I should be going for. I did the class one because I ended up because at first I was like, maybe I'll just roll the stats and let fate decide. But then I was like, but the fighters sound pretty cool, so I picked barbarian. And then I ended up using a free gen anyway.
Yeah.
That was also a barbarian.
So I did not read that part of the book. I
Mhm.
didn't get that to there. But is there like this is recommended for beginners, this is recommended for
Not really. That's a good point. There's
Yeah.
not really that sort of direction. It says, hey, you can. It talks about the dice mechanics and it
Okay.
has that kind of intro, like a lot of the RPG books do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of goes through character
But it just
creation.
says,
It's
yeah,
like,
you can create it, one of these ways. But
Mhm.
that's an interesting point about well, again, like I was saying, the 6th roll was only came up in 3rd edition because of, I think, some of those likely, oh man, I really wanted to play Necromancer, I didn't get to do it.
and
Yeah.
and if I was
you know.
introducing this to like my friends, that's probably the one I would push them towards because that way you like So you avoid, because like a lot of people come to these fantasy games like, I want to be a wizard princess.
Yeah.
And it would like, like Damien said, it would suck to be like, I'm gonna be a necromancer and be like, no, you're not, bro. Like, you got 8 intelligence. It looks like you're a fighter to me. But
Good luck. Yeah.
So I did like that method, like, because it also saves you from, and like this isn't that big a deal, but the select your class and then you have to have the minimums method saves you from being like a like a class that can't really do your job in that class because you have minimal stats, which some people don't care about at all. And like sometimes it's funny to be like a weak barbarian, right?
Yeah.
Like, or like a kind of a not super intelligent caster. But I do like that because it does save you from that if you don't want to do that, right? And so it's like, because they don't have like a point buy option, they do have like the flavor where you can like
You can assign it. You can like
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
like
get
roll it once, and
-2 to
assign
get a
it.
+1 somewhere else.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
-2 to +1. Yeah, I
And
always do that too.
Yeah, I
It's
did
optional.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was just, I think it like maybe even like a recommended tag I think would help,
That's an interesting point. Okay,
like
cool.
to do away with some of that paralysis that I had because I get choice
The
paralysis.
best,
really
yeah,
bad.
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of classes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yo, dude.
if you're like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you do like that totally random, I
Mhm.
know it's funny. I was just listening to a Morkborg. I went to the Morkborg, which
Oh,
is
good.
great. But like, having the random, like, oh, I just wanted this, a little this, like I think it does. Yeah, there's plenty of options for that,
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that I think it was smart to add that class
Yeah,
option in third edition, which wasn't there before. So
Yeah.
cool. I do love. I'm a big fan of more classes. I do
I know,
love
yeah,
that there's a
it's-
good amount of.
and these are
classes.
like, the Rune Graver. We didn't really talk about that.
And that's
too
the other
much,
thing
but-
too. Is like I know they're broken down into just warrior, thief, and
Wizard,
mage.
cleric. This is a
Mhm.
cleric based class. Yeah.
But like even then, just the combinations of the different ones, they feel different enough.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is really nice.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it wasn't. I think AD&D. It was like, I mean, you could literally be a mage thief, and you could
Yeah.
get max in different level. But it's just adding that extra take and like, but still giving it. It's not just the mage thief. It's, by the way, the scout has like this extra thing. This extra dungeoneering thing, and yeah, that's one thing I agree. They're all kind of, they have a little different flavor about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can be a
We
fire
moving on to
lord.
the things we like.
Well,
I thought we did that.
But we've been.
Oh,
doing
we
I
did.
thought we did that the
yeah.
whole time.
No,
Yeah.
things to steal.
No, I have one other thing.
Okay.
I love the amount of tables in this.
Yeah.
We said
I
that.
know.
I despise the amount of tables in this. It's a very bittersweet kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
really like all the, because at the end of the day, I really like tables. They're really easy to see, really easy to just extract information from. I still firmly believe that one of the best tables that I've seen thus far is from Mutants and Masterminds, where they used a table next to a score to denote like time, distance,
yeah.
like et cetera, et cetera.
Very granular.
Very
Yep.
granular, but you had one table to look at, and it was chef's kiss, wonderful. There are so many fucking tables in this
Yep.
that it's hard to keep track of everything. If I don't know if they do have this like a cheat sheet kind of a thing for just the
They
important
do.
tables.
I think they do, and obviously, of course, the DM screen
The
is
DM
like
Right,
all
right.
tables, like four
Damn, that's a
spreads
good
of
DM
tables,
screen.
four
We got
spreads of
everything on there.
tables.
Yeah, that
okay,
looks
yeah.
wonderful.
Item savings throws, the fighting matrix, turn undead,
Dang.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, all the tables you need to run, which is, again, it's all the ability score tables. If I need like what's test of constitution for a 12 constitution, the DM screen is pretty awesome. A lot of tables.
Tables.
Yeah, that GM screen is beautiful.
Yeah.
However, if we can condense it to like a handout for players,
Mhm.
that
Yep.
would be even better. Because having a GM screen with that, I mean, obviously the GM,
Yeah.
the attend referee
Referee in this game, yeah. Referee in this game, yeah.
needs to have all of that information. But I do think it's also important for player usage. Like one of the a complaints that I'm growing to have more and more often is that there's just not a good cheat sheet
Reference.
for
Yeah.
a lot of.
There are
games.
definitely reference sheets for this, and I'm trying to remember if they were set up like a DM, sort of a bunch of the tables. I'll shoot that to you guys after. It's on all this stuff is on Drive Through RPG PDFs, as you may know. They have a lot of
Yeah.
extra sections. They had the old the 2E pre-gens on there if you wanted like a adventure pack.
Is that from the creators of
Yes.
this?
Oh yeah. It's everything is
Cool.
from Northern Adventures.
Sweet.
Most of this guy Jeff Talanian, and he made sometimes it's been like fan content. Actually, the name generator that's in the back of the player's handbook now to give you that flavor of like what is a Chimerian name structure, the Brandon the Strong or whatever. The name structure is very Hellenic. There's a lot of Greece-based names in the back of the player's manual. If you want to do that, you talk about tables. There's tables for naming everything. But again, it's back to the naming structure. And one of I think a fan originally created that did all the language, was it the patronymic or, if you're, am I X son of, like
Yeah.
Vikings,
Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
son of Thor or whatever, or daughter of this different name structures depending on the language. He's incorporated that. Now it's in the book. So like that was, I think, a fan originally, 8-9 years ago that turned into a material, because that used to be like some handouts on the website. He had a PDF name generator, and he's like,
Cool.
I should put that in the book, and then he put it in third
Yeah.
edition. It's pretty cool. So
I
there's
think-
there's a reference sheet. I'll check that out.
I think that's an interesting complaint because for me, tables have always been like not. I think it's hard to have too many tables for me, just because like as a player, I find tables to not be my problem, and then as a DM, I very much like, this is your random merchant table, this is your random drops table, this is your like random, like I like them to be very separate. Me personally,
That is
Okay.
fair. It's
Yeah.
it's not. It's a problem that has no solution because I would prefer them to be separated as well.
but you also want a really good cheat sheet.
But I want a really good cheat sheet
Yeah.
that has everything that I need.
Yeah,
That it's impossible. It's an impossible.
just get a table of tables.
I know.
Actually,
You know what you do is you code the references, and then you go roll on this table, and then the code just spits out the result.
Oh.
Again, if
Honestly,
you're
I
playing on
could-
Foundry coming up, the compendium is going to be released pretty soon with all that
True.
information in it. So it's being. I'm working.
Okay.
I'm like side up. Spoiler: I'm working with one of the developers on it, which is pretty fun to beta test these things, which is
Cool.
nice. But yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
Foundry stuff
wonderful.
is all going to be available. Boo boo, click.
Nice.
and
Going
that'll be
through.
really nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Get roll on stuff. The rollable tables are looking pretty good. So
Because
Yeah.
you two, I know, haven't messed around with Foundry very much, right?
No.
So it's
pretty sweet.
It's a coder's paradise because it is so granular to the point that everything will be calculated out exactly as
Nice.
intended.
Nice.
Things to steal. I want to go
Things
first
to
because I'm
steal.
worried someone's gonna steal my things to steal.
Okay.
And that's the splittable potions. Dude,
Okay.
if you have something that heals 3d8 plus 3, dude, let me swig 1d8 of that. Like,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like that makes sense to me, right?
I thought
Like
that was cool. That was
if
a
I-
cool touch.
if I drink a third of it, why is the rest just water now? Like it doesn't make any
Yes.
sense.
I totally agree.
Um,
Okay. I, in a similar vein, I'd like the split attack rate that we talked about, where over 2 turns you do get 3 hits, but it's 1 the first,
Mm.
2 the second, because you're in the groove. I
yeah.
really
that was
enjoy
really
that.
fun. Yeah.
My thing to steal for this is the idea of stealing things. There
Mhm.
are so many references in this game, in the lore, that have no, dare I say, they're not original ideas, right?
There's a ton of there's a lot of references to a lot of these
Mhm.
other stories,
Yeah.
other games. Obviously, it's a
And-
it's a
I mean, I
version.
think you would agree with me as I say this, but like, it doesn't diminish the game in
Nope.
any way. If anything,
Yeah,
it enhances it
Yes.
because
Yeah.
now you're able
Mhm.
to pull on, Lovecraft and have, actual Cthulhu come out just for shits and gigs. Like,
Mhm.
just steal shit. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's actually a really big barrier for newer DMs, particularly. Is like everything I do has to be an original thought that no one's ever had before in their life, and it's like that's pretty fucking hard to do. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, and so like yeah, man, like,
There's cool stories out
Yeah,
there. There's
right.
really weird.
and I
weird
think if you
tales.
look at most games, like you can find a reference to other or similarities between the two, right? Because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it's
Simpsons did it.
2024. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah, I would agree with that completely. And this game is sick, so
Yeah,
get some Advil.
Yeah. Overall, I would rate this pretty high. I think.
It's
I
one
don't
of
have
my-
like an actual number for it, but I would rate it up there.
oh, it's one of the
really
favorite
good.
I've played so far for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I
It's
would.
really high up there for
Yeah.
me.
Top 5 for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, oof,
Yeah.
yeah. Again, pleasure to have
Yeah,
ran you
thank you
through
so
it.
much.
It's a
Yeah, thank
blast.
you for
Thanks for
coming
hosting
out.
us.
Yeah.
Before we end,
Okay.
from the GM side, do you have like boons and banes?
Yeah,
about
it was
this?
interesting. A lot of the stuff that I thought was issues were kind of fixed in third. To be honest,
Okay.
like a lot. The phase combat was a little different. I think cinematically, like enforcing the melee missiles magic movement started out as a weird concept, but like it kind of makes sense. You're in there, you're gonna hit first.
Yeah.
I think adjudicating that sometimes, just sometimes. But again, I think if you have when I've played in games that other GMs have ran of this, it's helpful to have that person making sure the caller, like, hey, I'm going around. What are you doing? What are you? It's always because combat, if you're declaring actions, rolling initiative every time, unlike 5e or something where you just roll initiative once and you're done, you set the order and you just kind of run through the loop. Sometimes it can be slow if you don't have a referee like really pushing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're comfortable doing that, or you have like a party member, hey, I'm gonna be the caller. The necromancer's I'm the leader. I'm gonna tell. Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? And sometimes that like party dynamic is helpful as like when I play in these games with other people, like helping people do stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm trying to keep the game going. Like if you're teaching a board game, you're trying to make sure everybody's doing stuff. And phase combat was weird. It kind of went away. I think this is a smoother way of doing it. I'm trying to think of again, Foundry is going to be nice for descending armor class. But again, I grew up with that, so like nostalgic is pretty cool.
Yeah, I do want to say like it's a weird one for me.
Yeah.
I feel like newer editions do things well, not of Hyperborea, right? But like other systems, I think that their armor class system is perfectly fine. It's different. I'd have to play it a little bit more to see if I like it.
Yeah,
I was pleased to see how not hard it was to get into, though. Like when I saw it, because this is my first experience with Descending Armor class.
Yeah.
I was like, this has to be weird. This is gonna be awful. It was
They
fine.
used to not have a table, and it was like,
Okay.
okay, you got to add, and then you have to subtract it from 20.
Okay, yeah.
So the
then
math
it would have
the
been
math
crazy
works
for
out.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that was a little.
Having the Matrix makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, the Comet Matrix was a good design choice, I think, for it. Yeah. I think the keeping people on point. I think like I like it. I don't mind doing that, but it is something I find that it's helpful to do. And so
I
if you're
agree.
not-
Like the combat really, like we didn't have any of the long pauses that I think a lot of people have in combat in a lot of games, and I didn't realize that until right now. But like we just went, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
I think speculation on my part. I think part of that is because you have one action and that's it.
Oh, true.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because you're not handling a move action, an
bonus
action,
action,
a bonus
free action,
a
reaction,
an action surge. So you're doing all of that over again, and
Which can sound like you have like less stuff to do, but I still felt like I could. I mean, granted, I was just swinging my sword.
Yeah, you were.
But it was like I still felt like people got to do things. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like,
Yeah.
oh, I only have one action. I can't do anything cool. Like I could still do what I wanted, and I can still charge.
It's sweet pulling the guy off the ceiling. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was such a good visual. Well played, everyone. Fun stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Fun
thank
stuff.
you.
please plug away.
All right, yeah. So again, check out our Tales from Hyperborea podcast at ZGS Podcast on social media, ZephyrGamingStudios.com. All those things will get you there. Check out on any of your podcast offering systems, whatever.
There you go.
Yeah. But I would before I forget, I do want to roll a wandering whiskey encounter. I'm going to roll a D1. Rolled it. Looks like we have some amazing whiskey here. We'll toast to the end of the day.
I guess
Just
we'll
a
have to toast at the
teeny
end, yeah.
something, but
All right.
no, don't have to do it right now. But thanks everyone for. This was a pleasure.
It'll
you.
be right after this.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
If
All right,
if you're of age to drink, have a toast with us in
Yes.
spirit.
Yeah.
That's right.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks everyone. Take
Have a
care.
good one.
Have a good night.
You smell bad.
Later, nerd.